gentlemen, welcome back to VALORANT low-elo Challengers Cup 2 Ascension. I am your host, REBL, and tonight we've got the most exciting matchups so far this tournament. We're officially heading into the decider matches for each group, starting with Group A and Group B. Now, what that means is we're about to find out the next two teams knocked out of the tournament and the next two teams qualifying into the playoffs all in the same night. I'm excited to get into the action, and joining me on the call for our first series tonight, Corner Campers versus TIMEZ, is Nick. Man, I've been waiting for this day, especially given how this tournament has gone so far, and it's getting a lot more competitive. How are you feeling about this matchup?
It's definitely a really exciting one. I mean, not only is it like actually not just an elimination game, we also get to see who gets to proceed, but also it is a rematch. We get to see a team that did not look so good in the first game, but has shown that they have significantly improved in the meantime, and they definitely proved it to us last game.
Yep.
So it's definitely a really exciting game to see, and I get to see how much they've worked on since our last game as well. I'm honestly really excited for it.
Yeah, same here. I mean, excitement doesn't even tell the full story that I'm feeling right now, Nick, because, man, I mean, we're just getting closer and closer to knowing exactly the teams that are going to be that top 8 in this. Now, I want to dig a little bit deeper into the narrative of tonight's best of 3 matchup that we have here in Corner Campers versus TIMEZ. Now, on the side of Corner Campers, their first showing, Nick, gave us little to no data, winning their first map in their series against TIMEZ by default and then sweeping the only map they actually played is all we got. And then they found themselves against Minji in Group A, the winners matchup, going down 2-0 in the series. Now, this series gave us a more accurate look at Corner Campers since 2 maps were played in full, and Minji also came into this tournament with high expectations given what we already know about the players on that roster. In that series, we see VLEC give us an absolute duelist masterclass as always, while Virgo, on the flip side, the IGL at the time, on the contrary, struggled to find answers. Now, Nick, the story gets crazier. After that series, Virgo gets dropped, then CJ gets dropped from Red Panda Gaming, and Corner Campers pick him up on the main roster, presumably in that IGL position. And from what we know, he usually has the answers, but he also adds a lot of firepower. And I think it's safe to say Corner Camper stocks are up right now, and this was the right time to make a move happen ahead of the playoffs. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, CJ in the last tournament as well has shown us that he's a really good player and has a lot of potential. He puts in a lot of work, and especially for someone who plays as an AGL for the most part, he definitely is mechanically really good as well. And he also has a really open agent pool. I'm pretty sure I've seen him play almost every role so far this tournament, or in the past 2 tournaments. So I definitely agree that it is probably one of the best cases for a player to pick up for Corner Campers here.
Yep.
And yeah, their team is honestly looking really, really good right now.
Yeah,
so
really good.
I'm definitely really interested to see how this goes.
Me too. And I wanted to piggyback off of something you mentioned there, Nick, very well, is the flexibility that this man adds to any roster that he joins. I mean, we saw him substitute for the first few series actually in the tournament, or maybe some of the RPG members as well, but we saw CJ substitute play onto that Yoru, and then last tournament as well, playing on the Zeta squad, he was playing that Viper, and now we see him on that Initiator from time to time. So yeah, CJ definitely showing a lot of flexibility in this tournament, and also being an IGL and also putting out the numbers that he does. This is definitely an upgrade for Corner Campers coming into this matchup, and I'm really excited to see how it pans out tonight. Now, on the flip side, we've got TIMEZ. Now, TIMEZ, this team is a bit more of a layered story for me. So first, I want to start with their first series, which was actually against their opponents tonight, Corner Campers. I talked before about how they didn't get to play the first map, but their first impression was on Lotus, which went 13-5 in favor of Corner Campers. One of the biggest critiques I had about TIMEZ's Lotus was the utilization of Deadlock, which didn't seem like a fully fleshed out idea. So if we see that map tonight, I expect either a stronger showing than last time or a comp, maybe role change. Then 2 weeks later, we get to see TIMEZ against Visualize, which was being regarded to as the battle of the mids at the time, right? But the series went to 3 maps, while 2 of those very maps were 15-13. TIMEZ just barely took the edge in that series and moved on to tonight's matchup against Corner Campers. Now, Nick, the good thing about this roster that has become glaring after the matchup is resilience. There were so many comeback moments in that series, and Ski was an absolute demon on that Sentinel role as well. But I talked about firepower, so tonight I'm looking at VALC versus NRY in this matchup. So give me a bit of your insight into TIMEZ.
TIMEZ have last series, they got to show us major improvements in a lot of things. While many people did say that, they were versing an easier team and that is why they seemed better, there was just such a better structure for the team itself. From the way they played with each other, how they used their util, their discipline, everything. They showed a really good composition, and overall just they showed us that they spent their time they had off between the games actually practicing and getting better. And they actually managed to show major improvement, which is what is also so exciting for this, because not only are they versing a team that up to a certain point they know some things to expect because they've versed them before, it is also the fact that they've had even more time to get to improve.
Yep.
NRY individually, someone who you mentioned as well as a duelist, definitely showed us that they are a very good player and they have the potential to actually have a lot of impact into the game. Because even though there were some games that series where they might not have gotten as many kills, they definitely had impact when it came to taking space for their team and into that duelist role.
Right.
So definitely believe that there is a very good chance that this game is actually close, and I'm definitely very excited for it.
Me too. Excited indeed. And very well said, my friend. Folks, we are so ready to get into Corner Campers vs. TIMEZ here. So without further ado, we'd like to watch some Valorant just like you. Let's get it started. This is VLE Challengers Cup 2, Day 9. To be a challenger, you must always be in flow state. And to become a champion, you must ascend. Travel the road from challenger to champion. Go beyond your comfort zone or fall. Towards mid. From the shadows came through, but right now, Hoopa with such nice shots into the round. A fourth. Going through U-Haul, caught by the Cypher trip. That's 3 hit. And right now, Echo looking to push through. He gets 4 on the round. Knights gets too far ahead of it. But there it is. The spray transfer comes through. The operator's close range. Going for the next one, and there it is. Shots come through. It's enough to take the diffuser down. And right now, Mango's playing around it very well. He gets all of them. Jadico. Ooh, the spray transfer comes through, and that's 3 for Jadico. Score here. Shots are going to come through the lineup. Ooh, he gets the clutch. There it is. All right, ladies and corner campers, it is times to get into the matchup today. You see what I did there, Nick? We've got our best of 3 coming forward. Icebox and Bind get banned here, respectively, from Times and corner campers, and we're starting things out on Abyss. Really cool.
It's also a matchup or a map that we have surprisingly gotten to see a few times, though not that much. Like, it's a new map, it's expected that not many teams are going to pick it. Surprisingly though, Times seem to really like it. I mean, we've seen Ezra map pick twice now in the past 2 series.
Yep. Yeah, and that's gonna, I mean, I hope to see the changes that we were talking about on Times as well, because you're absolutely right. We saw the Abyss from them, and honestly, this was one of those maps they showed us that resilience. So I'm excited to see how them going back to the drawing board plays out in this matchup. After that, we've got Sunset. After that, we've got Ascent, but we will get there. I'm excited to watch this Abyss, just like you are. Now, I want to think about this duelist matchup that we talked about between VALORANT and NRY on the side of Times. We talked about how we've got the Jet on both ends, and I think I definitely expect to see that here on Abyss. Now, looking at the last stats that we pulled up here between VALORANT and NRY. Now, NRY is Diamond 1, VALORANT is Diamond 2, right? So not a lot of skill disparity in terms of rank that we can say from the duelists of both sides of the coin tonight. But I will say that VALORANT has shown exceptional performances. While yes, NRY makes great space for his team, the stats aren't necessarily as much as VALORANT. I don't know if that's because that's exactly what the systems are set up, or if that is a testament to the difference in the players and maybe the potential small rank disparity. But tonight, I want to see a more even matchup 100% between the 2 duelists.
Absolutely. I mean, VALORANT has shown us that mechanically he is a very strong player.
Yep.
NRY has had a lot of moments and has played well for the most part, though also has had moments where he's shown us that he plays well with his team, though might not be able to frag out as much as, like, say. So definitely going to be an interesting matchup because it's 2 duelist players that have very different play styles.
Yep.
VALORANT is from the more aggressive side, while NRY is more playing with his team instead of just going in on his own and then having his team just follow along.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that both teams though have really good players as duelists. I am curious to see what they're going to decide to play though, because you did say Jet is a very likely pick, though we do have the Yoru hover over there by VALORANT. Mirovai also showed us that he's quite good at playing Neon, which is something that we could potentially also see on this map.
And that's intriguing to me, Nick, because we're so used to seeing CJ on that Yoru and VALORANT on the Jet. So this looks like a bit of a swap, an unexpected swap between the 2 for me, but there's no doubt in my mind that both these players definitely have the potential to play both of those agents at a very high level.
Absolutely, and I mean, as far as I know, Yoru is actually one of VALORANT's, I want to say, comfort picks in a way. He has mentioned it quite a few times before that Yoru is one of the duelists that he plays a lot and he likes to play when he gets the chance to. So CJ being on the team might have also given him the opportunity to actually do that.
Oh,
looks like we
get CJ back on the Viper. Wow. Oh, wow. This is great. I love this, actually. So, Nick, this comp that we're seeing from corner campers right now is a bit of a play into the G2 comp that we originally saw in Abyss, right? You have that Astra, Viper, Sova, and Yoru. Now, G2 played Killjoy with this comp instead of Cypher, so we're getting that G2 look out of corner campers. This is really cool. I like that.
I actually really like this comp. It gives so much space to try out different things with utility, especially while having 2 controllers, one of them being Viper, who can also, who's a very versatile one, and then Astra, who's just consistently shown that she is such a strong agent on this map and has so much potential with all of her utility. Definitely a very nice comp to see.
Yeah, I'm already seeing that default attack wall coming out as well for Viper. It looks like they are playing into the G2 style. Now, on the flip side, I want to talk about Times' comp because I didn't get to mention it too much in Agent Select there. Now, we've got the Deadlock coming out. We've got KO Gecko. We've got Jet. We've got Astra. Now, The anomaly for me in this comp is the Deadlock and the Gecko, actually. So I'm used to Jet on this map, I'm used to KO, I'm used to Astra, all respectively. Now, Gecko, one of the things we talk about when it comes to his style in juxtaposition to other initiators is he's very short range, right? You go for those short range fights. You have the Dizzy, who actually has less duration now after you throw it with the recent nerfs to Gecko. And then you also have that Wingman that can go for those plants. So a lot more closer range engagements. I expect them to use the KO to take that space onto the site and then use the Gecko to fight into the back sites. If you go B, you want to fight for that library space, and if you go A, you want to fight for that back site space. So that's how I expect them to utilize that Gecko here. Now the Deadlock, very different. We talk about solo Deadlock and how it's not, very reliable in terms of that flank watch when you're on that attack side. So I'm interested to see how they utilize that here on a big map like Abyss.
Absolutely. I definitely have to say that I like the comp. I do believe that it does have a lot of potential if used correctly. I would probably say as well what you said about Gecko and Deadlock. Those are probably the odd ones out in this sort of comp. Deadlock's an interesting one though, because she is an agent that can get a lot of value on this map.
Yeah.
Even without the flank watch, this is still a map where she can do so much on, and she can have a lot of impact. And so does Gecko with his utility, especially since this is a map where teams get the chance to set up traps and play back close. So for example, like on B, people might be playing towards library or playing close to try and kill the enemies when they try to plant. Gecko is an agent that can make that slightly better for his team by using Wingman to plant, instead of having that +1 player ready to fight anyone who might try to get any activity going or start an early retake.
Yeah. That is a really good point, actually, and I'm excited to see them actually utilize that, because that is one of the things that Gecko is so good at, and one of the reasons that he's a good pick on like many maps actually these days is that you get to, as you said, get that Wingman down on the plant or defuse, right, depending on which side that you're on, and you still have that man to fight while that defuse or plant is coming through. Now, folks, a bit of an update here. Coach on the side of corner campers did get disconnected from the server and a little bit of lag on the PC, so we're waiting to get him back into the server for the team, and we're going to get underway afterwards. Gives us a little bit of time to digest what we're getting ready to watch here too, Nick, because two very different approaches to this map out of these comps. So this is going to be really nice. I'm excited to see Falc on that Yoru for sure, especially because it's a comfort pick.
Definitely, I do believe that. We're going to get to see quite a lot coming from both these comps. Again, a very different approach. On TIMEZ side, we have something that's definitely more on the aggressive style, while corner campers have a more like no, I don't want to say passive. That's not really it, but definitely a different play style where you don't have like. You don't just go in, like you don't need to play with everyone all together, because you have that
slightly more reserved.
Have that Astra. Exactly, they can support your team without actively being there.
Yeah.
We do have that Astra on TIMEZ side as well, though for the rest of the team, like the Gecko, KO, Jet, those agents are going to be going together the entire time, or at least most of the time. And then Deadlock, it is an option to maybe get her on that leg or something, though with Astra on the team, that is not really something that you'd expect, or at least I'd expect. So I am definitely curious to see how they decide to utilize her on the attack side. On the defense side, it is a pretty standard agent for this map.
Yeah. And while we wait for that corner camper coach to get back into the match here, I actually want to piggyback on something you said there very eloquently, is about the map-wide presence you can have from a lot of the different agents on the side of corner campers. You can sell some nasty fakes with this comp. I mean, Astra, you can play stars from anywhere. Viper, you can throw your wall or your orb anywhere in that pre-round and then go anywhere else and still activate them. Cypher, you can put up your tripwires and be anywhere else on the map. And Yoru, you can go take a fight somewhere and then you have that gate crash elsewhere. So there are so many really nice fakes that you can sell with this comp, and so many rotations that you can pull off just by the map-wide presence of the 4 agents on this roster alone, which is a really cool thing to look at, actually.
Absolutely, they have so much potential to get so much map control and so much information. And this works for both sides, both for attack and defense. They just get to, especially with a Euro pick, they get to play so much more aggressively than you'd expect a comp like this, with like another duelist, and be safe or not take too many risks.
Yep.
And essentially, the only one that doesn't have too much range across the map is Sova, who is already an agent that has quite a big range for his utility to be able to support his team.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it has, I really like this comp. Like, I definitely, it's probably one of my preferred comps for this map.
Yeah, it's really good. It looks like the timer started here too. Coach is back. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, ladies and gents, it's time. Corner Campers versus TIMEZ. Nick, man, this is either, in this series, you're either getting into the playoffs or you're getting out of the tournament. It all comes down to this, man.
Absolutely, it's definitely a really high stakes match, which is also why it is so exciting.
Yeah. Just off the pistol round here alone, TIMEZ looking to hold down that mid space. And you see a very quick approach over here towards B site by corner camper. CJ just knife out running with the wall down. Goes for that. Gravity Well's a little bit late, and just within the first few seconds of the pistol round here, we've got in plant already. 5v5 retake coming through. Now that gate crash going back site here, I want to take note of that for later because it looks like he's going to be utilizing that into this retake with some flash plays. So looks like a lot of prep coming out of this for corner campers. First tap one of the spike. Gravity Well comes through. There's the shock dart. Utility so far. Fending things off in this defuse. There it is. Nebula goes away. That's the fake coming through. And the next step is that Viper Molly. So layered so far from corner campers in this pistol round. Even the camera towards the spike. He's on the defuse. It's half now. They're going to have to go for it. Keo, he's defusing. Oh my goodness. How has he snuck away with that one? The utility was so good from corner campers, but TIMEZ just sneak away with the defuse and getting that pistol round.
And on such low HP as well. I mean, any damage would have secured the round for corner campers there. So this came down to like just like a split second, maybe like a random shot, maybe a piece of utility, whatever, could have just completely changed that.
Man,
and
what a bit of a blunder.
Yeah, absolutely. And the corner campers, their utility was looking so nice going into the post-match situation.
Already into round 2 here. This time it's a much slower approach. CJ with spike in hand, the tip of the spear, but gets taken down through the nebula there. A little bit dismantled coming into the eco here. Corner campers looking like they're not sure how they want to approach this one. Sativa getting across. So far, no damage done, but still looking for it. Oxy left alive and a flawless for the second round for TIMEZ. And already the eco stacking up there.
Absolutely, and such a good eco round as well. I mean, again, as I've said so many times already in the past few series, this is such a good conversion. I mean, not losing a single person in a save round is just gives you so many more chances to get a good bonus conversion. And we also had Kira that only put a sheriff and now has that outlaw that could also get quite a bit of value.
Yeah, the Outlaw, such a good weapon on rounds like this. Look at this. They want to get ahead of the Viper Wall this time. I mean, Nick, what are we seeing from TIMEZ right now? This is a pleasant change from their first showing and second.
Absolutely. Like, you've already seen so many things that seem to have improved.
Yep. So layered here. Has a really good idea of how corner campers want to play this. There it is. Barrier mesh going down towards A main there. And right now, that's where they're all grouped up. We've got the spy cam mid, so Mizuzuki going to be that Lake backstab. And she's so good at that role, too. And right now, there it is. Hit comes right on through, denying from that heaven space. You see the snake bite coming through. Yoru trying to TP there, but gets taken down. And the grab net, even to follow up. CJ left on the site to try to do the damage, but numbers are just dwindling so quickly. Sativa, the shots are so labored. Misuzuki, last one left going into this, does get the first spam kill, going for the next one. Wingman on the spike, but the plants, or the pings rather, not right in the middle of that spike, so miscommunication there from corner campers on where that defuse is coming through, so TIMEZ actually get the bonus here.
It's again such a big round for them. I mean, this gives them so many chances. Look at them, they have 4 rifles and one of the guns they got to keep. And corner caps on the other side can barely scrap a good buy together. And overall the round was such a nicely layered retake. I mean, it wasn't what you'd normally expect with the team flooding in together. It was mostly NOI going in on his own, but he had his team ready to trade him, making some of the corner campers players think that it was just a free pick. But it was anything but that. The moment NOI died after killing 2, the rest of the team just flooded on side and cleared everyone else.
CJ just fell into the void. Oh no. And just like that, Spike Carrier goes down, but Val does take down Jetlag NRY to respond to this. And you see that Cosmic Divide coming out from XD. We got a similar look this round from corner campers that we got on that pistol. And it looks like that's what they want to go for on these ecos. Oxy, nice shot with the Sheriff there to do damage onto NRY. Looking for more. XD going to take him down. Sativa, the only one left to do the damage here from main. And Misuzuki to follow up pretty soon. But the Gravity Well not taking Wingman off the spike. They're going to have to come through. And once again, the defuse right in front of their faces. TIMEZ with a 4th round on the board already.
And this is exactly the perfect example of what we've been saying about Gecko. Not necessarily in this map, but in general. Using women like this, they just get so many ways to get value out of him. Like, they just push in, they use Wingman, and they have that extra person holding that. That Gravity Well missing was definitely really unlucky for corner campers. And you'd expect to break it. Was actually really, really close.
Who's next?
Though, again, they had Kyo ready there.
Yeah. And Nick, it looked like this round they wanted to go for a set play with the Yoru. Gets taken down before the judge can do any damage. Second layer of this, though. CJ's got that Viper's Pit down on site. Now, this is really going to help distort those sight lines and get ahead of this CT space, but Ski has found his way around it. Gravnet goes into it, looking for them to tap onto it. It is so well done from them. It's so drilled. Ski, 3 on the round. XD following up. And right now, Oxy, the only one left, and has the Hunter's Fury in hand, and he's actually going to go for it, too. Hunter's Fury comes out, but Kyo pushing him, puts it away, but Kyo landing off that shot there. 5th round on the board for TIMEZ, and not an answer yet from corner campers.
I mean, time is looking so good here. This is their map pick, and corner campers definitely seem like they haven't practiced this map maybe as much, though they're looking so good. There are definitely some moments that you can definitely say that there's a bit of luck involved. Coming into the retake, I don't know if you noticed that, but Ski actually hit a player with the nade there and actually revealed someone's position completely unintentionally.
What?
They bounced off a player, and then Ski was aware that someone was there and actually shot the wrong person.
I mean, Nick, it's stuff like that that just goes your way, and just it's so funny too, because the other unlucky thing we saw was, I mean, CJ falling into the void. It's small errors like that you just can't have happening. Yeah,
absolutely. And it just, and I mean, especially in a map like this where it's your enemy's map pick, it's a map that they have worked on a lot to the point where it's their preferred map to play. It's just like, you need to play as well as you possibly can if you want a chance to win this.
Yeah. Corner campers time out there, giving Cardboard a little bit of time to give that external assistance to the team, because they definitely need it right now. TIMEZ coming into this one real hot. And here we are. on round 6. Do have that B presence coming through once again from corner campers. So far on this map, they do love these stacks. Leave one of those players towards mid for a bit of a lurk. Now, the thing that concerns me about this push so far, Nick, is that there are already 3 TIMEZ players here. And it looks like that drone, they got a little bit of a read into the setup there, so they're going to opt to go somewhere else. And NRY too, he's got that operator online. Not even going for that mid lurk as well. It's a bit dangerous. Barrier mesh already down towards main ski. ADS onto the angle here, calling out the noise. And look at it, he's going to use the Annihilation off the top. There it is. Annihilation comes through, doesn't get anyone, gets scanned by the recon, goes for the swing, but gets taken down at the side of the nebula. NRY looking for the gap, but not able to take any down. So right now, corner campers coming into this post plant with a man advantage. Haven't said that yet, so silver lining is on the cards. Crossfire here, back sight. NRY going for the peak, does take him down though, and the knives come through. Blade Storm onto the site, takes him down, and just like that. But Mizuzuki has always been good at this lurk position. Gonna have to make a lot more noise than usual though as the time starts to tick. Takes down Kyo, looking for the next to NRY, takes down the wingman, and there it is. NRY missing the shot there. And right now, there it is, clutch from Mizuzuki. It was looking so unlikely with the operator in the hands of NRY, but I mean, they need that corner campers, and that's their first round.
Absolutely, and that's a round they absolutely needed. And again, it just was such a close one. This is once again an example of how structured TIMEZ's retakes are on this map. I mean, again, they're looking so good. Like, this is a map that they show they have actually practiced a lot. It's honestly really exciting to see from a team that, in the beginning, this is again a team that seemingly in the first map did not even stand a chance against corner campers.
Yeah. Definitely an absolute masterclass so far from TIMEZ. Now, we're slowing things down into this round. That operator was taken out of the hands of NRY, so playing a different position here towards mid. CJ still playing that passive space, but Oxy, once again, with that Viper wall, just runs straight across onto site. But TIMEZ, they can perfectly play for that retake. Coming into this, they do have that Thrash. Presumably going to be utilized into this. Dizzy comes through to activate things into the retake, and there's that Thrash. Looking for the enemy positioning there, and it's in the recoverable position. Make a cross, deadlock, a bit low HP here, so fight's gonna have to go their way here. Gravnet comes through, and there it is. Defuse starts with Wingman. Gonna get taken down though, and the utility so far is pretty good from corner campers. Kyo looking for a cheeky defuse here. This time, can he make it happen? There it is, XD taking 2 of them down, and the defuse still coming through, but CJ this time is ahead of the defuse. Corner campers locking that second round down.
I mean, it definitely seems like the corner campers are starting to get more into the game here. Possibly was just like a slow start. Maybe just need to figure out how TIMEZ is playing. They're definitely looking a lot better than they were in the beginning here. Though it still just comes down to such small things, like over there, like that smoke staying, if it stayed for like 2 more seconds, TIMEZ could have gone that diffuse, or like just overall util, like it definitely seems like there's a few more things to work on to say that this is a map that corner campers can definitely win. But overall, this is still a very close game. I mean, it's definitely getting much closer than it seemed in the beginning already.
Yeah. And we got a 2-1-2 default at the beginning here, so looking to siphon just a little bit more information about the time setup here, which is a smart call from corner campers as well, because, I mean, those stacks, Nick, were looking really dangerous for them. You gotta really look for where TIMEZ are playing. They love to stack numbers onto the sites. You see 4 already, actually, towards the A extremity. They might sniff this one out pretty soon as well. And here it is, running right across, getting onto the site here. Now, although we're getting the same look, Nick, this round, coming across with the Viper Wall, Plant going into the same spot and playing from main, pretty soon corner campers are going to have to be careful taking the site this way, because at some point I expect maybe TIMEZ to have Gecko play towards B site and just dizzy right through that and take a fight as they're running knife up. And so, a change I expect to see.
And again, this is also what I was about to say, the utility coming in here, and also the ultimates. I mean, I don't even know how much there is like corner campers can do in this situation with the divide coming in. I mean, yeah. They have no utility, no vision, no sound cues, and they can't even get to spam that. That's just a complete shutdown of that post-plant play.
And it seems like no one on corner campers was aware that Cosmic Divide was a part of the equation too for the defenders. You know, I would expect them to maybe play into the site there, but I guess the Hunter's Fury is what they were leaning back on, but it came out a little bit late there, so the defuse came through.
But surprisingly, there's something that has already happened once. It's the second Cosmic Divide we've seen this half so far, and corner campers were not ready for it. And that's exactly what you said about the B main aggression. I mean, we have Jetlag over there pushing out and immediately catching CJ completely off guard.
And there it is, once again, just like always, towards this A approach. Contact is made. Barrier mesh immediately goes down. Looking to shoot the drone from that Heaven support, keep Ski implanted onto this site. And this is where you see those rotations coming right on through. TIMEZ a little reactive in their approach to this round, so leaves a bit of an open window here towards B site for corner campers. Mizuzuki going over here towards mid as well. Presumably going to be the late plan coming into this one.
You are divided, obscuring vision.
There's the contact.
Is
Wall coming out.
Covering it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a slow take here. The window of opportunity wasn't taken quite quickly. Plant still coming through, but Nick, just like we talked about, flash right through the wall. There it is. Jetlag taking down Sativa. Wingman going on to the spike, looking to defend it, and that is it. Leaves Valk all by his lonesome, does take one down for his troubles, but an immediate trade from NRY and a defuse for TIMEZ, and they are running away with this game right now.
And as we said, literally the three things we mentioned on the previous round is exactly what happened here. The beginning, Jetlag with that B main aggression, pushing up and catching CJ completely unaware. And then again, that flash with Jetlag almost got two like that. Got a bit unlucky in the first one when he tried to get Valk while they were pushing upside, but did manage to get Oxy after getting Spike down.
Oh, this time it's a quick play too. The TIMEZ have a read ahead of this. I like it, but gonna have to cancel into it. Corner campers reacting very well to this. CJ going for the fight. And they're gonna reset into this one, going immediately towards B. They know the stack is A. I like this look from TIMEZ though, Nick.
Absolutely, they're actually looking really good. And look at that, they have XD already staying B and trying to get some early infill on them, and the rest of the team is already following along as well, not giving corner campers too much time to get ready for either a post-play situation or to try and get some aggression going.
Yeah, and Valk, he overstayed his welcome last time coming out of the Dimensional Rift. This time getting out of it, but gets caught while he's trying to run away. Dark goes ahead, and right now Oxy's left on the side to do the damage. Does take down two, but turns around at the wrong time. There are 3 Astral Stars on the spike right here, and to Odin. Surely this time we get a successful defuse or successful takedown, and there it is. Corner campers landing their 3rd round there.
And that is also what we said about the deadlock. I mean, that lurk coming from CJ was so important for this round, and probably what actually even won the round for corner campers here. And once again, I'm definitely curious to see how corner campers decide to play this out, because they did manage to win the round, but that was not because of the strat they actually had in mind. Like, they tried to get some aggression towards B in that post plant, and they did not manage to get anything. Instead, they actually got completely shut down and lost 2 players.
Yep.
So I'm definitely very curious to see how they decide to adapt to this and
Deploying drone.
what they're gonna show us for the next rounds of the attack.
Barrier.
And once again, a full halt towards A main off the barrier mesh. And just a really good stall. I love how TIMEZ are playing this deadlock right now on this defense. It's so simple yet so effective. And right now, full rotation coming in. NRY is here, ready for it with the dart out, but the shots are a bit labored. Trade comes through from Jetlag and Keo respectively. And that is what you like to see in these mid rounds. So well drilled, playing it so well together and organized. So TIMEZ keep this even, but they're just spread around the map. Another kill was taken down. And CJ, on that A lurk going down, leaves Sativa by his lonesome with the spike in hand. Does have an Odin, but only 35 seconds left on the clock. And mid, I mean, mid is something really hard to work with this weapon against 3 people. Now, off those fights towards A, should have the information that maybe there's only one maximum over here towards this B site. So you see him exploring it. 17 seconds, though. He's going to have to find XD quickly, but XD, he has his eyes trained towards main here, but the steps give it away. He's going to have to look for it. He doesn't hear him. Wait a minute. This is an open window here for Sativa. Plant does come through. He's looking for a 1v3 clutch. It'd be crazy if he did it. And corner campers do need it. However, a Thrash to work against in the hands of Keo here. Gonna play this nice and smart. Dizzy comes through, shooting it down. Sativa looking for the spam. There it is. He gets on it. He didn't hear the flank come through. He expects it, though. Looking right through the smoke. He's going to come through. Gets the second. Looking for the clutch. And he's at the advantage, too. Keo's the one that's got to defuse. Comes around for the peek, and Keo's good for it. There it is. Defuse comes through. 8th round on the board for TIMEZ, but a really well-fought round by Sativa there.
Absolutely, that was such a good way to play the situation. I mean, he was so aware of even the flank there. I'm not sure if he actually managed to hear the footsteps because of everything going on, though he overall seemed so aware of the deadlock situation there, and even aware of the fact that she might be closer than expected.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to small things like that, and that actually made the round very winnable. Looks like I have more of a kind of default push. They have a 2-3 setup here. They do not really get any main aggression.
Oh my goodness. And it's the round that TIMEZ decide to put 3 people mid. They are just reading corner campers like a book right now. And CJ, he's made his way up towards B site, but again, there's already 3 here. I mean, they are just all positioned correctly at every single time. That pick on the XD, though, does open a bit of a window. CJ dropping that Viper's Pit down onto the site. Now, this is a fake right now. The spike's actually going over towards the A site while that Viper's Pit is down on B. And even the Thrash to be invested as well. I mean, they're selling this pretty well, corner campers. Gonna have to take down this barrier mesh, but looks like Ski hears that happening. Coming down onto the site, but it's a 3v4 and definitely a clutch doable by corner campers here.
We also have so much utility coming in from TIMEZ, though. I mean, we have Annihilation, we also have Thrash.
Yeah, that makes this so much harder. And it's the last round of the half, too, so all of those ults are coming into play now. CJ, he's lurking up mid right now. So I expect him to be pivotal in this, but Ski goes for that Annihilation. Oxy gonna be the one to try to support him, but it's not enough. And the Annihilation was enough to do the damage there. CJ looking for the lurk, but the shots don't connect. And Keo takes him down. 4 left standing, but 9 wins on the defender side for TIMEZ, going in to a very advantageous half.
Switching sides.
Something also to mention here, which we talked about in the last series from TIMEZ as well. While we have talked about the Gecko a lot, we haven't said that much about Keo, who once again has been getting such important picks to for the side of TIMEZ. I mean, that first blood the mid, and pro just hitting their shots and consistently getting a few picks when needed has been so detrimental for this map so far.
Yeah, Kyo goes huge time and time on that get-go.
Absolutely, and what is more like impressive for this is that something I want to say criticized partly last series was the fact that TIMEZ also looked very well when it came to their aggression. And this was actually the defense half. This was a half where corner campers had a lot of advantage, especially with such an aggressive comp as the one they're running.
And I love this approach by TIMEZ so far in this pistol as well. Grabbing that orb, creating a lot of points of contention over towards A site, but right now you see them at the same time working this B space. I mean, the pacing at which they're moving this is really nice, but corner camper's pretty reactive on this, so they're going to have to take this timing quickly, and that they do. Coming right out onto the site, Wingman going for that plant. Looking for the tripwires, does get broken here, and we've got a full 5v5 retake. Very well surgical controlling of the map by TIMEZ in this pistol so far. Barrier mesh, this is such a nuisance to deal with on pistol round.
Absolutely, and that is also what you said about the value Deadlock can get.
Yep. Ooh. Alright, NRY takes down CJ there, but Oxy to follow things up. Jet lag even further into the punch. Plant a little bit different here from TIMEZ. And they're looking to not make the same mistake. The spam's going to come through, but I mean, the defuse wasn't confirmed at first, but now it is. Oxy's on it, but does he even have time? What a blunder by corner campers there. They had the numbers advantage. The gunfights were going their way, but they got on the spike too late. And TIMEZ just sneak away with that pistol again, Nick. That's got to be disheartening.
Absolutely, especially after bringing this round back. I mean, it was already looking hard because a 5v5 retake situation is definitely more on the attack side on a map like this. I mean, they had so much shooter coming in from TIMEZ, and corner campers had to take the side with not as much time as they probably like left, but they actually managed to win all the fights they took. They won.
Yep.
They got with 3 players alive. They just couldn't get that defuse.
Man. And I mean, this round, corner campers are trying to go for a little bit of a read stack over towards A. And TIMEZ are just so aware. Hits coming over towards B. Once again, 5v5 retake. Now, looks like they want to stay slightly ahead of this retake as well. They know they have the space, so NRY is actually going to play up this time. Barrier mesh over towards elbow, so, or link rather, so nothing really to handle on that end of things for NRY, so he gets to confidently watch towards heaven here. Noise comes through. Posted up onto the angle, but jet lag with the Bulldog from main. Going to do the damage. NRY still in the position here. Nebula comes right on through. As they break that wall, he starts to feel the pressure here. And coming into this, the only thing they can really ask for is damage, but they're in somewhat okay positions here with the long-range gunfights. Too much for Oxy to handle. Sativa looking for the next. Wingman coming through. Claps onto the opponent there, but NRY landing the last 2 with the Guardian, and 4 left standing for TIMEZ means great things for their eco and bad things for corner camper on this map.
Absolutely, and with that, U2 NRY's positioning was so good. I mean, with that, smoke over there, the Cypher Camp could not actually see NRY. And then with nobody coming out of tower, NRY was just free to be behind 2 players from an angle that is completely unexpected and actually really hard to react to.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because when we looked at the duelist comparison stat lines, Nick, before this matchup, I mean, we just saw VALC. There's a huge gap between VALC and NRY in favor of VALC. And NRY is just showing us exactly why that does not matter right now, because the team play from TIMEZ this game is just so much better. And there it is, like we talked about. Dizzy to take that backside control. Gonna reclaim it here. Jet lag going right into the Nebula to fend things off as well. And to support that regrab, VALC gonna land one off, but they're getting so ahead of this one here. So proactive. Jet lag 4 in the round, looking for the ace. Got the Vandal in hand, but the new arcane wasn't good enough to do the damage. Sativa, Odin in hand,
Taking that back. Need that back.
looking for another clutch, but it's not going to happen. Just going to have to save the weapon, and Nick, this puts them to 12-3. Corner campers down. I mean, it's so hard to come back from this with the amount of momentum TIMEZ have and what their economy looks like currently. This is not a scoreline I expected.
Absolutely not. While I definitely thought that TIMEZ could very well win this map, I definitely did not expect a score like this.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the buy corner campers are getting over here. They're barely able to scrap a Vandal here. The rest are 2 Bulldogs and a Guardian, and the Odin saved from last round. And we saw exactly what we said. I mean, we talked about how the comp TIMEZ is running is going to have to play really aggressively and push up, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, when corner camps are actually preparing to get their retake going, 3 players from TIMEZ immediately ran through CT and ended up getting 2 really important picks.
Mike's digging. Thanks, little man.
And it's just a full B hit as well. With that null command on the side of TIMEZ. And they're already at a player disadvantage on the side of corner campers. They're just playing off the site here. And they even have Thrash to even follow that up. So disadvantage here for corner campers, but first pick comes right on through. Stun onto the spike, not taking into account those sonic sensors. Right now, 2 left standing, Sativa and Oxy. 2 very good players could make it happen here, but the mosh pit comes through and so does the spam. He just wants to get it halved, and he does. Mosh pit takes him down, but he's looking for it. He can't get it done. Ski to close off the game there, and TIMEZ with a dominant. Wow.
Absolutely, just such a good look from them. I mean, again, like we said, while personally at least, I definitely thought that TIMEZ had a very good chance to win this map, I definitely thought that corner campers would also have a very good chance as well. I mean, they've shown us that they're such a good team, and we talked about how much better they're looking right now with CJ. And again, we just see such a dominant look coming in from TIMEZ. I mean, even going into corner campers map pick for the second map, their mental has to be low, because again, not only did they lose 13-3, which by itself is a lot, this is also a map that has really high stakes.
Man, I'm not even going to put this on CJ, but I mean, this is probably the worst we've seen corner campers thus far into the map. And, you know, without dwelling on it too hard, I mean, it was just completely dismantled there, Nick. Now, I'm not sure if it's because they were a little bit, you know, slow in the preparation for this comp, right? Because CJ is their most recent pickup, right? A brand new IGL, and you and I both know how big of a change that is. It's only 1 player out of 5, but it's an IGL, though. And that almost completely changes the system that you're working under, unless that IGL has so many parallels with your previous IGL. And from what I understand, just from watching Virgo's calling style and from seeing CJ in 3 different tournaments that we've had here at VLE Challengers, they have somewhat different calling styles. So corner campers, I mean, if you think about it, TIMEZ have been together since the beginning of this event, and corner campers are fresh with this roster and a new IGL. So it could be just indicative of that alone, because I know these are talented players. I know CJ is a great IGL. I know he's a great fragger as well. And so this right here is not indicative of what we know about these 5 players. But on the flip side, I mean, TIMEZ, even if there is weaknesses in corner campers being shown right now, TIMEZ are showing strength, right? And that's one thing we definitely have to credit them for. I mean, it looked so systematically well done. On that defense, you saw them going for that mid space, and they didn't back down from those fights either. They're not scared. They were tripled up towards mid some of those rounds, which is really good because the mid control on Abyss is so good to stop those late backstabs. And then they were also giving reactive rotations onto site, reading into corner campers, 4-stacking most of their hits. I mean, it is just textbook right now from TIMEZ, and I'm nervous for corner campers right now. This could be elimination.
Absolutely, and also bringing back something that you mentioned before we got into this map. Many people said that the previous series by TIMEZ was a battle of the mids, while corner campers was supposed to be one of the teams that were very likely to even get close to finals. And TIMEZ here are just showing us that they're not actually what most people were expecting them to be. Not only did they show us a good series last time when people were expecting a bad match, but also they've actually just won 13-3 against one of the teams that was considered to be the best in this tournament.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I mean, I think that speaks volumes as well. Not only is Corner Campers one of the favorites to make it pretty deep in this tournament given their roster, but they just made a recent upgrade in their IGL position. So you just start to scratch your head at what happened here on Abyss and where things went wrong. And speaking of, folks, they have 5 minutes in this intermission to get it done with their coach. And we'll see you on the other side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what an interesting turn of events here. Welcome back to the Corner Campers versus TIMEZ matchup here. Deciders match for Group A. Corner Campers going down in that Abyss matchup, 13-3 for TIMEZ. Now, Jetlag, being our MVP here, want to give an honorable mention because what a performance by him. Coming into this series, actually, Nick, we were talking about CJ in that IGL KO role, but it's Jetlag who's in that KO role this game, and he tops the scoreboard. What a great performance from him.
Absolutely. Such a good performance from the team entirely.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone
And the
just
Jet too.
Everyone as a team. Exactly. They had such a good look as a team. From their discipline, from their synergy, the way they use their util, just overall such a dominant look for their map pick.
Yeah. And now, what makes me nervous about, for Corner Campers at least, going into this next match, Nick, it's Sunset. Now, we talked about this. I know this is Corner Campers map pick, but the legendary comeback by TIMEZ on Sunset against Visualize, where they showed the resilience and improvement in this tournament that we were looking for, that's the map we're going to. So this is going to be quite interesting here. And talk to me more about what you expect to see on this Sunset from TIMEZ.
Exactly. Like you said, it was the map where their attack side just looked so good. It started off a bit on the slow side, going in from like a kind of close half, and they let Visualize get quite the gap. Though once they actually started getting a bit deeper into the half, they started looking so good. And overall, that's something I mentioned last map as well. TIMEZ has such good aggression. They showed it to us so well with the comp they played on Abyss, and they showed it to us in that attack half in that last series on Sunset, and in the rest of the maps as well. So going into this, while this is Corner Campers map pick, I do believe that TIMEZ definitely are really good on this map. So Corner Campers definitely shouldn't just rely on the fact that this is their map pick. On top of that though, you also have to think that Corner Campers just had a really bad game.
Yeah.
So they actually have to bring themselves back mentally to get into this.
And that's so important too.
Yeah, exactly. Not only is this high stakes, this is also a really bad start coming in from Corner Campers.
Yeah. It's not a start you want to have in a series this important, for sure. And I mean, I want to piggyback off the mental part that you're talking about. It's like when you get that external help after the game is over, that's the time where you really got to decompress. Maybe even go for a very short walk outside, right? Get a breath of fresh air and come back into the series with your mind, right? Because I mean, Corner Campers are down but not out, but I mean, it's their mentality that's really going to shape that narrative here.
And I'm definitely curious to see what we get to see on this map coming in from the comps.
Oh. Okay, if Mizuzuki plays Chamber, I will backflip. I want to see it. I want to see that.
We have some very interesting hovers, though we have also seen a lot of switches so far, so we've learned to not really trust them until we actually get to see the pick.
Yeah.
We do have that Omen, Breach, and Sova, which are really standard.
Oh my god. Oh man.
There's
no Chamber.
Okay, and then there's the Neon and the Cypher, so we'll just get the more standard kind of, I want to say, Abyss comp. Coming in from both sides actually, the only change being the second initiator being Gecko instead of Sova, which, I mean, it's Kyo. It's someone who seems to play Gecko quite a bit.
Exactly.
And this is also a map where Gecko has actually played quite a bit. And especially with the changes. Because actually, something we have talked about the sunset changes so many times, even just me and you. Though something I've actually never mentioned, and I'm surprised that I haven't, is Gecko wasn't played so much on this map. One of the reasons being how strong Cypher was with his trips, that unbreakable trip towards the main, and in general those trips he could place on side that could very easily be a nuisance when you wanted to use Wingman.
Yeah,
that,
that's
however,
true.
It's not as much of a problem anymore.
That's a really good point, actually.
Exactly. Cypher can't just use these trips to stop and get that spike early on, which is something that we actually saw a lot of times, which is when people started moving away from that Gecko comp.
And like, what I really like about that, what you just said there, is the fact that Cypher obviously still has a very strong presence on this map, without a doubt. I still think he's really good on that B site. But you're absolutely right. Getting through the choke point always was like a bit of a it was a bit of a horror story for anybody going against the Cypher, and a lot of times you had that Sova to just deal with it super easy peasy with the shock dart. But you're absolutely right. I think that these map changes alone that they had towards B site and respectively a little bit towards mid has opened up a lot more opportunities for different initiator configurations here. And like you said, with Breach obviously still being very prominent because you have that Neon, and Breach and Neon pair so well together with that long stun fault line, and then Neon being able to slide right in off the back of it. With that second initiator, you can maybe still play into that Sova and still get the shocks onto the trips, because I mean it's still really good on the map, but you've got other options. You've got the Gecko, you've got the Fade, and I've seen other teams actually expand onto those, and you see a lot more freedom in that second initiator role with those nerfs to the B site. So that's a really good point, and I think that they're playing to those as well, since we're on the new Sunset in this patch as well.
Absolutely. And so far I've seen this change of the map. I personally really like them. I mean, they've done, like, in my opinion, they gave this map something that was missing here. And what's missing from me was for this map, which is something that I like to see in every map, is the room for creativity and to try different things.
Yep.
Because we have maps, for example, like Ascent, which is the exact opposite. It's a map that has very little room to try things. I mean, the only real difference you've seen that is actually good on that map in the past few months, if not years, has been that change to play the double. However, with this change to Sunset, it's actually becoming a map where you can try different things, and you actually have a comp that has a very good fighting chance.
Yep. And we're going to see how that works out here on attack for TIMEZ. Ladies and corner campers, it is TIMEZ. All right, I promise I'll stop. The bad puns, but here we are, moving right into it. Now, it's a lot of mid-control right now, Nick, from TIMEZ, and they loved this on Abyss, and it looks like they're prioritizing that here on Sunset, and that's something we see from a lot of teams here. Right now, Cypher locking down that B main space. You've got your A tripwire, so a standard pistol here, but look at this market control. If they go in here, they're running into a fault line of CJ and the shots of Valk. So they're going to have to sniff this one out first. Gonna get a head-on fight, actually. Jet lag already has the stun ready to go. Dizzy comes through ahead of it. In the engagement, they actually take the gunfight instead of going for the utility, and Valk actually goes down on the site there.
Right there.
And even the dark cover to further disconnect Breach from the play here. And Keo right through market. We've always talked about the impact coming out of Keo and the mid-round frags that they get. It looks like a mid-round contingency going towards this A space from top mid, just completely taking control of the entire map as TIMEZ. And so far, this pistol's looking nice.
Gotta go.
Looking to take control of the CT space as well. Sativa ahead of it, but is he going to be able to take it down? Does take down one. Stun comes through from the wingman. Jet lag. Going to come back into it. Paranoia forcing him off momentarily. XD looking for the counter paranoia towards CT. Mizuzuki left in an awkward position. A bit precarious there, but XD going to take him down. And now Sativa left by his lonesome in the 1v2 here, going for the clutch, but the off angle by XD catches him off guard. And there it is, pistol for TIMEZ. And that's the third one this series too.
Absolutely, and just such a good round. I mean, I love the way TIMEZ decided to play this. I definitely like what Corner Camp decided to do with that rotation. I mean, last map, TIMEZ showed us that they really like getting the mid-aggression, and especially that push towards market. They did that quite a few times, and I mean, Corner Camp was ready for it. However, with that late push, Corner Camp has started shifting towards B. And TIMEZ actually read it. Like, they got those two picks into site, CT and market, and you'd usually expect a team to commit to the site. Corner Camp is immediately rotated and got ready for that retake. to instead have every single player from Times immediately
There.
do a full 180 and run to that A site.
Yeah. And a similar look here from corner campers. They love stacking on these eco rounds. So a bit of an insight into how CJ likes to lead the team when they have the gun deficit. Right now, just the trap setup. Breach stun for market entrance. You've got Sativa and Oxy ready for the fight as well. Off the contact. Stun not coming through yet, and there it is. Counter stun as well, though. Forces him out of the fight. Jet lag. Able to land it with the Bulldog, and there it is. NRY into it right now. Pretty systematic from Times, working around the weaponry of CC very well, but... Ooh, Valk had his window of opportunity. Shots are a bit labored here, and the whiffs all over the board. XD taking him down with the Sheriff. And CJ and Mizuzuki left in the clutch here. Now, looking for damage. There are 2 players low on the side of Times, so definitely a couple curious things coming into this, but presumably the way Times has been playing, I don't think they're giving anything up on this one. There it is, Wingman already forced out. Aftershock taking NRY out of the corner. Dizzy taken out of the equation. Stun comes through on the rest of the players. There it is, the tap. Paranoia on to the spike. Utility's good. CJ getting forced off here, and it's a triple high-low from the team, and there it is. Times playing it very well.
Go, go, go!
Absolutely. I mean, just again, we saw that mid push towards market, and we got to see a perfect example of what we mentioned so many times already in both the last situation times, which is their synergy.
Yep.
Going into through that market door, they were so ready for the trap and that breach stun. I mean, they had like a small distance between them to the point where that like breach stun coming in from that side left one player not concussed that immediately was ready to protect his team. And that's exactly what he did. Ended up getting that first blow into the round and gave Times exactly that opening they needed. And that is something that has also happened so many times into the round. I mean, corner campers have been setting some interesting traps and definitely some really, really good ones, and have had some good ideas overall. Though just small things like that early pick, that small mistake from that stun not covering the entire doorway, are just so detrimental for a round, giving such a big opening. It was a save round, so I mean, those picks were still pretty good coming in from corner campers. So
Yeah, that's true.
At this point, this is where the game actually gets to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Though this is probably the most important round so far for corner campers, because losing this round will be really bad for them looking at their money. I mean, even now they have to buy some half shields. They have 3 players with half shields. They do have that Guardian and NRY that could get some value of that. So, yeah, definitely just such an important round that we're about to have here.
Yeah. And I think last game, right, you might have mentioned it already, but Times got both bonuses, right? In both halves?
Yes, they did indeed.
Yeah.
They
So,
did win both of them.
Yeah, you mentioned the Guardian in NRY's hand. I mean, there's also Bulldogs for Ski and Keo. Those might as well just be Vandals or Phantoms at that point. These guys make these weapons look really good in those types of rounds. And what I like about Times' style as well right now, Nick, is that they know how to play around their arsenal too. They understand, right? This is a buy round for corner campers, right? And we have less weaponry, so we're going to play to that. We're not going to use a regular strat from the book we'd use on a regular rifle round. We're going to try to get in their faces. And obviously this is a fundamental every single team knows at a basic level, right? It's just obvious that's how you play the game, but the way Times do it, it just shows that they have improved a ton in that regard, because that was something they didn't really have. That was a layer they didn't really have before. So it's really nice to see it come out in this series.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's a layer that also changes things so much going into this game. I mean, it gives so many more chances, because again, winning this round 4 times gives way too much momentum going into this. Essentially gives them a free, even 4th round going into this.
Yep.
I mean, they're gonna go with a 4-buy against barely any pistols. If corner campers can even scrap maybe something like a Stinger or a cheap gun going into that.
Yeah.
So again, this is round that is such high stakes. So I don't know. I really believe that corner campers have a very good chance going into both this round and in general this map. But we need to see some change.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping to get to see soon, because as you like to say, once a team starts bleeding like this, there's not much coming back.
Yep.
Cover going out.
Bonus round for TIMEZ here. They've done it twice before in this series. Let's see if they can make it a third, just like their pistols. Oxy locking down this mid-top space. Not going to be too inviting to this one. Going to back up, ready for the contingency plan, because this is where the attention is. He doesn't know it yet, but the stun comes through. And then RY forcing through. And this is what I mean, Nick. They know how to play to the arsenal, and they're just forcing these close-range gunfights. Now, Valk taking down that pick towards main does cause a little bit of question marks here. They're going to have to deal with him. Takes down jet lag, but looking for the aggression here. NRY playing around it, but there's the running gun. And just like I've said before, it's just Fortnite at that point, but the trades come through so quickly from corner campers, and 3 left standing on the rifle round. And there it is. They convert it.
You failed. Now flee.
Absolutely, definitely a very good look for this round, and I mean, that was a really nice way to play it. Definitely went down to actually hitting some shots. Though, still, it looks like they sort of adapted to the mid push, and they were kind of expecting it. Definitely going to also need to see how this one goes, because this is the round where the teams are, I don't want to say on equal terms, because we definitely have a bit of a weaker buy on corner campus' side, though it's as close as it gets for a round like this.
Yeah. There's a quick engagement there towards A main too. I like barely saw it happen, but traded out. On one side it's the Neon, on one side it's the Breach. That Breach is pretty pivotal on this attack, so TIMEZ played a little dull here. Nonetheless, looking to regroup into this one now. What's curious about this is that corner campers, just off that early round pick alone, and this mid-round quietness, they're just coming over towards A. You've got 2 players over towards B main for the side of TIMEZ approaching. And right now, Cam not getting anything. Now, Ski going down there makes them even more curious as to what other presence lurks over here towards this A site, but you can see here on the minimap that the wingman is being sent out to plant over towards the B site, and there it is. So we've got to retake position here now. NRY is the one put in this winning position. If he can go fast on this lurk and read out that all of the players are already over towards B, he might be able to make something good happen here. They also have Thrash to deal with as well. It might be 3v4. They're down numbers, but a round very convertible by TIMEZ here. But you're going up against corner campers. You're going to have to make it good. There it is. Dizzy comes right on through onto the site. Not enough so far. CJ sticking onto the spike. Going to have to spam onto it pretty soon, but he just gets to defuse. Right there in that round. Corner campers giving TIMEZ a taste of their own medicine from last map on Abyss. And defuse right in front of them.
I mean, that's just the way to approach this. Maybe it definitely has to do with that plasma, which I'm really curious on what made TIMEZ decide to actually go for that. Especially considering they had Thrash, which was pretty unusable for that plant spot.
They want to fight?
Though, again, definitely a good look from corner campus coming into this round.
Yeah. And just in that pre-round alone, you can see the pings come through. Looks like they wanted to go for a different plant there. But NRY going for an aggressive pick here towards mid, goes down pretty early, but that's actually both duelists getting traded out there. Sativa, look at where he's posted up. This is aggressive. It's right on the off angle here. Yeah. Oh. All right, TP's up onto the box, does get the first, looking for the second, can't do it. Keo getting the trade. As always, those impact frags coming right through, and they have that Thrash to clear out this entire site. They go for this here. Mizuzuki taking down the lurker on the side of Ski. So right now, they're at a man disadvantage for TIMEZ, but Wingman going down for the plant here. They're going to have to get a little aggressive ahead of this and look for a pick. Stun comes through, but the shot's hit from XD. And the Shrouded Step, a little too committed there. Dizzy comes right on through, looking for the mosh pit on there. A second part of the Thrash ready. They're going to sneak up on it. There it does. Lands down onto the Cypher. Cannot take down Oxy, as he does defend his teammate successfully there in corner campers with a defuse.
It is over.
And we're definitely seeing that change that we're talking about. Corner campers is actually starting to look more like an actual team here, playing together and actually getting some solid ways to approach this defense out of this map. They might have actually, this round they actually got to lose some very important pieces of util here. Valk did not get any value out of his order that they're trying to push towards tiles. Has got immediately picked off by NRY. Though we did immediately also see a trade for that.
Yeah, it was a very quick trade. Now, corner campers, I like they're starting to play with misdirection here. So this dark cover over towards main kind of makes times that they might make them think that they might be playing into this, but it's actually so that they can get this spy cam in this aggressive position and just look out for any lurks. Now Cypher being the only point of contact on that one there, they might assume that that's a lurk, but meanwhile there are 4 players sneaking up to this choke point. Sativa in the 10 spot, and he's gotten Odin, so double danger here. They go and push out onto the site. There it is. Take is commenced right on through. There it is. Odin comes right on through onto the site. We've got the Hunter's Fury out from Oxy right now, able to take down the plant, but no kills gained off the back of it. Flash comes through, coming right into things. Misses Zuki, landing off the first. Valk with the second. Oxy with the third. Keo getting a trade, but only left down to 30 HP, and the fight has just gone so well for corner campers there.
I think that's exactly what we expected from corner campers going into this map. This is the look we were expecting, at least for now. Like, they had a slow start, they couldn't find the right pace, but now they're actually starting to get some very good momentum. Times are also looking like they need to change something here. This is just the same thing we're saying about corner campers. Now this isn't said on Time's side, where what their playstyle is starting to get read. And corner campers are actually playing very well around that. So I'm really expecting to see some sort of change coming in here.
Yeah. It looks like this dark cover towards B main is actually a condition tactic by corner campers this time. They throw that dark cover, but he actually commits to it this time. Mizuzuki, she's posted up here. The attention's over towards A. It's a very passive setup by corner campers, but a very reactive one at that. The moment they hear this A plan, all 3 top mid players can come over towards this. They've got that rolling thunder to deal with it as well, from the shadows to couple up to it, and there it is. Plant comes right on through. CJ coming over to try to get ahead of it and caught with the flash out, but gonna go for a bit of an overzealous peek there. Rolling thunder invested. There it is. Retake gonna come right on out. Sliding right into this one. Site control is taken, but the window of time was not. Coming right on through the paranoia. Looking to get ahead of things here. It's going to be a similar blood fight that we saw on that B site. But Keo in a very good position here. Neurotheft comes right on through, but both get shut down at the same time. And corner campers looking formidable.
You failed.
Absolutely, and that is also the aggression. Like, Falk over there going with such aggressive plays, and his team are actually following up and managing to get some picks from the opening he created. Do have that timeout coming in from TIMEZ, which is definitely needed. Though, again, corner campers here looking so nice, completely shutting down all the plans TIMEZ had going into this post plant.
Yeah, this is definitely a good time to stop the bleeding if you are TIMEZ. Now, Again, what we know about that squad on this map is that they are the kings of comebacks. And the thing about it is, kings and queens at that. But the thing about it is here, Nick, is I mean, attack is where they made that comeback happen. And right now their attack's not looking too good. They have some good looks here and there. They're able to get that plant down most of these rounds too. It's really the post plants they're faltering. And I'm assuming that's exactly what the coach is talking about right now. How can we structure these post plants a little better? How can we position ourselves to get better trades? Because corner campers, they're playing together.
Absolutely, that is what is missing. I mean, corner campers are playing together, and TIMEZ are also playing close to each other, but they're just unable to get those trades. Maybe there needs to be some change to their util, or maybe just their overall structure, or maybe they just need to get some aggressiveness more instead of just getting into positions to play for that spam or use their util to stop the defuse. They actually need to play to get some more picks before they let corner campers get into the retake position.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the last 5 rounds they planted, but it just got diffused. So here we are at a different approach here. Bit of B main space taken. This time that dark cover's so much more deeper there, but meanwhile, Thrash comes out towards the A site, and RY looking to get into the position here. Sniffs out Mizuzuki. Smells danger. Takes her down. The Cypher out of the equation there. Thrash not really getting much value into this round thus far. Now XD, he's in that lurk position, so definitely going to look for the pick here. Does find Sativa. There it is. Rolling Thunder to come through. Love this play, but Oxy, what is that shot? Completely stunned by the Rolling Thunder, but I guess it's just cosmetic. Rito fix it. And now we're left in a 2v2 here. Dizzy comes right over top. Does take Valk, but the shots are labored from both. Ooh, that was dangerous and really close, but TIMEZ taking that one away.
I actually want to bring back what you mentioned, G. That play with that Rolling Thunder, I am such a fan of that play. I really like that. I mean, using that to get the player who's into that lurk position and opening. While he didn't manage to get that much value and only got that one pick due to that lucky, wanna say, shot from Oxy. But definitely a really good play here, like, and something that there's no way anyone would be expecting there.
One Valk. Gonna dance with danger there. Gonna opt out of the B main space. Once again, we've got a very deep dark cover here. Corner campers really love playing with that misdirection towards B, but TIMEZ not budging. Right now, I do got this lurk here. Mizuzuki looking for it. Neural Theft gonna confirm the presence over towards A. And even XD caught out towards main. Does have that from the shadows though, so can regroup a lot faster into this one, but they've got to commit here. A lot of information not given. They're actually going to turn around too. And what's bad about this too, Nick, is that their smokes are just gone and out of the equation. And even look at where CJ is. I mean, the layers are endless to where corner campers just have success in this round right now. Going to have to clear that out. New box. We've seen a lot of people get away with some heinous things here, but in RY, spots the barrel. CJ was actually going for the trigger discipline there, but gets taken down in the process. Valk, the only one here to fend off the B site. Gonna calm the noise. You see the reactions coming through. Wingman gonna go for the plant. And look at them, they're grouped up on this too. Love this from TIMEZ actually. Gonna try to go for these picks here. They know they're at the man disadvantage, but on the counter end, I mean, corner campers also grouping up really nicely here. And so it's gonna take a hero play. Looks like NRY is the one that's gonna try to go for that, but they've gotten out of market fast enough to where it doesn't even matter. Diffuse is coming through. Oxy taking down NRY there, and a 6th round on the board for corner campers.
It's a very good look going into that retake. I mean, they had that flank being ready in case TIMEZ decided to play for spam, and immediately getting that info that all of them were towards side. Valk immediately also going for that aggression to make sure that they don't get to stop that defuse, because TIMEZ was definitely starting to get on that low side. It's just another like dominant round coming in from corner campus into that retake, and that's just what has been happening so consistently so far this past 2 rounds. I mean, this is the 6th defuse they've got in the past 7 rounds.
My eyes are down.
Another aggressive spy cam there from Mizuki, immediately getting that information towards B main. Already taken down. Looks like they want to invest a little bit into this and look at where the presence is going to come from. Trying to sniff out what they're doing off the back of all those dark covers they keep throwing B main, but this time corner campers not budging, not looking for anything here. And this is one of those rounds, Nick, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew because, I mean, times have a gun disadvantage here. So you want to play it smart, want to play those far ranges, and that's exactly what they're doing. Jump spot from Mizuki confirms the presence, and Sativa once again in that 10's position with an Odin, looking to do the damage this time. They don't have smokes to help them out, and there it is. Gets 2 from that. Hunter's Fury a little bit over-invested into this, but Oxy taking him down, and Ski, the last one left for times, only with the classic in hand. Looking for the lurk there, looking to get damage, but it's not enough. Flawless comes out from corner campers. And it looks like we're getting the corner campers that we expected this series.
Absolutely, they're just looking so good and so coordinated right now. I mean, this might have been a save round coming in from TIMEZ, though still, they just looked so good going into this. Again, we have yet to see that actual change coming in from TIMEZ. I mean, we did see a win like 2 rounds ago, though we didn't see much of a change there either. So I don't know, I definitely want to like see how they decide to approach this going into this.
Yeah. And it's an early round elbow protocol here from TIMEZ. Getting that flashpoint coupled with the DZ for NRY to take that space, and it's successfully done. Granted, though, there was no one really there to contest that space either, so looking to regroup with the Dizzy there. And Ski trying to fend things off from the CT push while that spike goes down, and it does. NRY recovering huge here, and I love that paranoia. Just controlling the space really nicely. 3 on the round for NRY. Does go down at the end, but it all comes down to a 1v1 as so many trades come through. Recon showing exactly where Ski is, and Oxy going for the half, looking for the shots, but not enough bullets in the chamber. And Ski coming out with the clutch there.
Last round in the half.
Such a big round. I mean, that's the round that gives TIMEZ the chance to at least bring this half a bit closer, especially with how low their eco was looking there. They're able to get a buy-in here, seemingly with 4 rifles and 1 slightly lower vibe. Though they do also have that overdrive. We haven't seen much of that this half. I mean, both times either team tried to use it, got completely shut down. So maybe this will be the change in that so far.
Yeah. And it's not like he's going up against a KO either, so he's able to use it throughout the entire round and get value out of it. Ski trying to decipher what the current A setup is for corner campers this time around. And you see this mid presence this time, very passive approach by TIMEZ. Looking to systematically work this a bit more. Dark cover going towards top mid. NRY tip of the spear with the judge. Clearing towards that new box. So far so good. Stun comes through towards Market, and there's the attention. They know he loves that spot. And there's those adaptations we were talking about. They know exactly where he loves to play. That's the 3rd time. And that's the charm. NRY getting control of this space, following up with the Thrash. Looking to get value out of the overdrive here. Doesn't clear the right side corner, or left rather. Goes down to Ski and Jetlag trying to force him out of position, but still takes down Keo. And the Aftershock answering onto him. Jetlag left onto low HP here. CJ investing the Rolling Thunder. It's the last round of the half. Why not? But the From the Shadows is so quick here. And this retake has already been so layered. Tap onto the spike, comes through. Goes again, they're gonna have to peek into it. Stun comes through, but Jetlag on 1 HP, able to close things off for TIMEZ. So unexpected there, so sudden. And that's a 5-7 half for TIMEZ.
Absolutely, and I was definitely really curious on what TIMEZ was going there, especially XD with that From the Shadows coming in. I don't know about you, but personally, I was really expecting that cancel when I saw how far back that teleport was. Because it was what you normally expect, like close B main. It was probably just to cover the noise and maybe let corner campers believe that it could have TP'd towards Boba. Though I was personally really expecting something a bit more aggressive with that cancel. Though this is definitely the more disciplined play, let's say, going into this. And I mean, it definitely paid off. With Jetlag coming in with that trade immediately.
So true. And already this pistol, Nick, TIMEZ is giving corner campers a taste of their own medicine. Got that dark cover one way, denying that B main space for the attackers, but they've already got all the way through market. What has happened? The map is basically flipped at this point. It's just a crush towards B main. And corner campers somehow have worked this map so quickly, immediately found that defensive hole and took control of the space. TIMEZ on their back foot right now, looking for the sheriff shots as Keo not able to find them. Ski left with the classic, breaking that market door, and all eyes on him. Going for the first shot there. Val gonna go for the peek here. Shots are a bit labored, but the entire team is there. It does not matter. Team ace for corner campers on the pistol.
That's again the look we've gotten so far. Immediately going for that mid push, that aggression there, getting that early pick, and then immediately trying to pinch those players that were B main. Not letting them do anything. I mean, even NRY, when he was left alone, there was nothing to do there. Being pushed from both sides, there's just only so much one can do there.
And they want to approach this B main space again. This time, it's mid that's being looked at by TIMEZ. But that also gives them very heavy market presence here. Drone going to come out onto site. Mizuzuki on this lurk, looking to find one, does take him down. Val, right through the smoke there, takes down XD and NRY, not able to get the trade. It's unfortunate there. Relay bolt, perfect timing. Sativa able to hit the shots, but going to stall for the rest of the team to get there. And right now, they're trying not to give up these ult orbs. They just want to do damage, but Spectre wallbang from Oxy and a flawless out for corner campers. That means really good things for the eco here. And they're coming back into the series with momentum.
Absolutely, they've just have such good momentum going right now. Coming into the half from a really slow start. It was only 2 rounds, so they definitely looked like something was very much off. But they seem to have actually picked up the pace and won quite a few rounds, coming into with a 4-round lead and a really strong bonus round. Very possible for a conversion even.
Dizzy over top towards the A site, gets nothing. So they're looking to keep that space there. Orb grab towards B, Aldrone. Pretty soon TIMEZ are going to be able to sniff out that this is where the hit's coming through. Both cages popped, so already that sight deterrence for Ski. For himself at least, taken away. Recon almost scanning him down, but he gets just away with it. With that fast lane that comes towards the site. And Ski still here. Looking for the fast shots. Goes for the picks. Gonna get confirmed though, and CJ is just in a completely unassistable spot. And all the trades just keep coming through. Corner campers winning out onto the fight, and TIMEZ left on their back foot into the retake here. Jet lag looking for a 1v3, but I mean, corner campers so far have played these scenarios so well this game. And that's it. 10-5 right now for corner campers. And the body shots to even confirm the confidence is coming back through. I mean, folks, it looks like we might be getting a map 3 here.
I think this is just such a good look from corner campers so far. They're showing us why this wasn't a map thing. And again, with that bonus conversion, there's only so much TIMEZ can get this round. I mean, it looks like they're just going with 5 sheriffs, trying to get as much damage as possible to go into that next round, though I don't know.
It's another B look yet again. You would think Boostio was calling this game. Rolling Thunder comes right on through towards the site, but they're completely halted towards main here. Can't get through the choke point. Gonna regroup into this one. Look for a second try later in the round, but the gun advantage. You don't want to run into that stacked site, and it looks like they completely sniffed that out. And what's nice about this setup from corner campers as well is the moment they go for those rotates, because Ms. Suzuki is so deeply inserted into this mid space, she can hear those rotations. And so it looks like the audible came through to go for that B re-hit, and it's a split this time. Right now, only jet lag. 1 second left onto the stun. Not going to come out before the backside control is taken. Flashpoint comes right on through, and really nicely done there. The synergies between that breach and that neon showing time and time again. A little bit overzealous there, but CJ good for the trades as always. And the backstab from Mizuzuki. Very well structured round from corner campers.
Absolutely. I mean, didn't manage to get much value out of that Rolling Thunder, but in this case, that's not even needed because they got so much information from that lurk position from Mizuzuki, calling probably the rotations and letting them know that the other team was not actually going over to that B side.
Yep.
And then at the end, also that lurk position managed to get them behind and get that last pick. I don't know, we do have the timeout coming in here from TIMEZ, looking for some change. Last time they did get a timeout, they did manage to actually get a round in. So, I don't know, maybe that's the change they're looking for. I mean, this is a score line so far that we've seen going into this. So, again, corner campers are just looking so good here.
Yeah, and I mean, this timeout here, you're structuring a comeback. This is not just, hey, we have an eco we need to figure out, or we have a rifle we need to figure out. This is, we have a comeback we need to figure out. Now, we've seen them do it before, times on this map. Granted, it was on attack, so this defense, they're going to have to show the strengths here, because I remember that's where they struggled during the latter half of their game against Visualize on this very map, too.
That Sova's mine.
Absolutely. I mean, the score is actually going pretty much the exact same as it did for that game, though it's reversed on the defense side here, which so far seems to definitely be the weakest side on this map. And it's against a team that very heavily punishes it, and has done so consistently this map. And this is also probably their last actual chance into this map. I mean, losing this round puts them into a very heavy save round. Just gives them such a big disadvantage. So this round that they have to win if they want an actual realistic fighting chance going into this.
Yeah. And I mean, a good start for it. Winning out that gunfight is Skeet. Had a bit of a lurk there from CJ up A. Thought he had the space, but that Cypher, very passive setup. And we know that about them on this map as well. They love to play passive and just go for those retakes. And there it is, a hit coming right on through. And just like most times, we've got Miss Suzuki on that lurk, but NRY opting to just go straight past it. Kyo gonna have to do a little bit more to check up on it, but it looks like she's gonna invest into this very late too. So that's something you'll have to deal with here. Paranoia comes through ahead of the retake, but Val in an awkward position to deal with things. The pressure a little bit too hard to deal with on the site, so he gets taken down, but Oxy, second point of contact over here towards elbow, and there's the lurk activated by Mizuzuki. Gets the first, gets the second. And so much value already gained off the back of that, and right through the dark cover, jet lag going down to the Vandal of Oxy. And 12th round secured for corner campers, and that is map point.
Absolutely, and this is just such an awkward position from TIMEZ. I'm very curious to see what buy they decide to actually put together here. Because I mean, this is just putting scraps together going into this. Cornercamp has just been looking so good after round 3 so far this map. And they have continued to do so. So far they have yet to lose a round on the attack side.
Take flight.
Yeah, and that plays to that narrative to this defense being so weak too. Now this round they do have 4 here. Didn't get ahead of this retake, but Ski once again overcommitted to the fight there. Just gets taken down ahead of the retake. You start to wonder when this micro is going to look more disciplined from TIMEZ. When are we going to get that Abyss TIMEZ out of them? Looking to come into it. NRY getting the information. Well spotted onto the Omen towards top site. Enables his team to come into that one, but Hunter's Fury comes through from Oxy. Looking to get ahead of the retake here. Jet lag almost in the crosshair there, but Wingman taken down. CJ and the Sova left into this one. Paranoia comes right on through, denying it, but the crossfire so good. And TIMEZ living yet another round on this map.
Definitely a very good look going into this. That maybe some change that was definitely needed. There's just so many rounds left into this game, all for TIMEZ to even manage to get close. I mean, the Corner Campers have a 6-round lead. This has to be so stressful from TIMEZ' side. They're definitely a very good look going into this round, and a lot of a better structure than I've seen so far in their defense.
Yep. Right now it's 5-1 in this half, so answer's gonna have to be found. The aftershock onto the Sova, that gets him. Nobody on Corner Campers calming to Oxy that you're in an aftershock while you're in drone right now. So a little bit of frustration probably off the back of that, but Valk pushing in with the relay bolt. It landed so well. And look at the value just right there out of the Neon. Mizuzuki with the lurk as well. And this is the round that Corner Campers want to take the game away. This is the true essence that they know how to play towards. And right now, forcing TIMEZ on their back foot. CJ taking down XD. And Ski left in the clutch scenario, rolling Thunder invested, and that is all she wrote. 13-6 for Corner Campers.
Now they're going in there to just guarantee that round. Just such a good overall look from Corner Campers after those first 2 rounds. I mean, even look at that scoreboard.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, it is very rare you see this in these tournaments. A complete 5-5 scoreboard, yeah. So, I mean, not only does that speak to how dominant Corner Campers were on this map, but it also speaks to how dominant the players themselves were as individuals. Because looking at this here, there's times where you can have a loss, 13-6, but you're still a little more evenly spread. So a lot of underperformances from the players on the side of TIMEZ. And Keo, someone who usually shows up huge. Now, although they topped the leaderboard for their team respectively, a lot of value that we're used to seeing out of them, not seeing here on this map alone. And NRY as well, having a hard time on that Neon. You know, only 3 first bloods coming into that. And sometimes, especially on last map, we saw a lot more impact out of NRY in that duelist role. And I think they had really nice micro moments here and there. I mean, they could have made the comeback happen. I saw the vision, but I mean, Corner Campers just looked way too drilled here.
Absolutely. Again, this wasn't a map pick, but they actually looked really good. I mean,
Yeah.
just like TIMEZ did on their map pick on Abyss.
Yep.
Though this was, however, the second map. TIMEZ is the team going in most likely with the Wasp Mentor into the decider. So, and it is also Ascent, which is a map that I'm really curious to see, because we actually got a very good look last time from TIMEZ. And it's a map that really heavily relies on synergy, discipline, and fundamentals, as I've said and we talked about last time as well. Ascent is not a map about how many good things a team will do, but about how many mistakes. And that is how it's played against 2 teams that are on close terms, which is what we've seen so far in this series.
You're absolutely right. And so I'm excited to see how that plays out too, because the thing about Sunset, we talked about it before, the map changes, obviously, you know, creating a lot more room for growth in terms of comps. But now on Ascent, like you said, very fundamental, very standard map that's kind of figured out basically universally by all teams, and we see the same comp time and time again. And so I expect both of these teams to pull the same thing out. Maybe on one side we'll see a Cypher instead of a KJ, but I expect both Valken and RY to be on those Jets. I guess CJ is what I'm wondering right now. Mizuzuki probably going to be on KJ or Cypher. Sativ on Smokes, Oxy on Silva. So we're probably going to see CJ on that KO. Yeah, CJ's a good KO player. So on corner campers, we can obviously see how that meta is going to play out. And then probably same for TIMEZ here. So we're probably going to see mirror comps coming into this. And this is where it honestly comes down, because you could even say this map could have come down to the comps as well. I know there was a strategic, issue and flaws that we saw on the side of TIMEZ, but I mean, they have different comps, right? So you can't quite play to the same standards, whereas Ascent, a map that is a very balanced map in a lot of ways, a very standard map, and you got to play the fundamentals. You have to make the least mistakes possible. There's not a lot of room for innovation. That is the map where it comes down to the discipline that these teams have. And I think that this game, TIMEZ didn't have as great of discipline going into this map, and so they're going to have to, during this time right now they have with their coach between maps, really figure that one out.
Absolutely. They're definitely going to take their time to calm themselves down and recollect themselves and go fresh into this next map.
Yep. And speaking of, folks, we want to get to Ascent just as much as you do, so we're going to throw it to a quick 5-minute intermission, and we'll see you on the other side. All right, folks, and it all comes down to this decider map on Ascent right here. Corner Campers versus TIMEZ. I am still Rebel, and my caster joining with me right now is still Nick. And so coming into this third map here now, Nick, I'm very curious about this one because this is the decider now. Both teams won their map picks here, but Ascent is a map that wasn't picked by either. Now, I'm assuming TIMEZ banned that Lotus because that's where they struggled the most last time, and then Corner Campers taking Haven out of the picture. And so this is a map where we get to see what both teams' principled play styles look like, and this is also the map, Nick, that decides the fate of both of these teams in this tournament, either losing it and bowing out or either winning it and going into those playoffs. So how are you feeling about this one?
Absolutely, and I'm not so sure actually. I do definitely believe that both teams have a chance, and they've shown us so far in the first two maps. I mean, going back to something that we've actually also talked about quite a bit, is that Abyss is probably a map that is very close to Ascent, and that is the map where TIMEZ looked really good. However, it is also a map that is really strict. There's not too much room to try different things. There's maybe 2-3 comps that I could name that actually have a very good fighting chance in this map. So I'm definitely expecting to see something standard with like KO, Sova, Jed, Omen, and then either Cypher or KJ for the Sentinel. Yeah, I'm just definitely really curious to see how this goes.
Yeah. This is going to be a really interesting map indeed. Players having a little bit of banterous time there in the chat now. Before we get into this map, because we know that Sova dominates Ascent in the current meta, I want to talk about our MVP from last map there in the form of Oxy. Now, I feel like we don't talk about this player enough in the caster's booth, Nick. This guy is a demon on the Sova. I mean, he just finds value time and time again for his team. And this time, instead of looking at the econ rating, we have the plants and diffuses up here from last game. 2 plants, 4 diffuses, but more importantly, look at the KDA right here. I mean, what can't this man do? He's done so much support for the team in and out of the server in the way that he's able to contribute to the way that they play their games. And so I'm looking for him to be a huge difference maker here on Ascent, because that Sova is a very prime pick on this map, and he is really good at it. He might be one of the best in the tournament in this role. And so I want to get your insight into that on this.
Absolutely. I mean, he looked so good last map. You know, overall just such dominance in the role. It definitely looks like Sova is, I guess, the agent is more comfortable in, or has more experience in. So yeah, I definitely believe that he has a lot to bring for his team going into this map. Though there's also some cases like that coming in from other players here. I mean, we've seen CJ play KO quite a bit. We've also seen NRY being more comfortable and more confident in their jet pick, which is the duelist that is usually played on this map. So I'm not so sure. I definitely believe that we might see some weird comps, and we have some interesting hovers going on over here.
Oh no. Oh, I was gonna say.
Also,
We got the chamber.
We did also get CJ saying that we're not ready for this comp, and that is exactly what we're seeing right here. I have to say, this was not a comp I was ready for.
Not at all. What in the world? Nick, we got the chamber with KJ and a Phoenix? Don't pick Harbor. Are they gonna pick Harbor? Oh my god.
And I mean, we have Sativa on that duelist and Valk on chamber, which is also something that was not so expected. With also KJ.
Huh. I mean, we're just eating our words right now. I'm just talking about how, yeah, we're just going to get the default comps, Mizuzuki on KJ, and they're just completely changing it up here. Wow. Okay, so Sativa swapping spots here, not on that controller, actually going to be the duelist this game on the Phoenix. Definitely a curious pick for sure. And then that Omen coming out from XD at the end there. All right. So we've got a lot to talk about here. Okay.
So definitely.
I want to start with TIMEZ because it's a little bit more normal than corner campers. So obviously we've got the default comp minus the Sova plus the Gecko. I'm not a huge fan of that, but you know, would you be able to sell me on this comp potentially?
I mean, looking at the comp itself, as in like the agents, probably not. I mean, Gecko's an agent I understand and I believe is actually viable on every map right now. Though, I mean, on a map like Ascent, I definitely believe that the server is stronger. What does kind of tell me though on this Gecko is the fact that it is Keo playing it, and it is agent that Keo has shown us that they are really comfortable in and really strong in.
Yeah, she's insane.
Absolutely, and yeah.
I don't know, it's very, so the thing I do like about Gecko obviously is that you can recall the utility so many times in the round, right? You've got multiple cooldowns, and that's the nice thing about Gecko as well, is that and no other initiator actually offers that. Cooldowns with like literally all of your utility, obviously except for the mosh pit. And so I think that obviously you can get a lot of really dynamic mid rounds out of it. Now, obviously that's just literally speaking towards the agent design itself. But when I actually look at it in the grand scheme of things on this map right here, Ascent, I'm just thinking, what value can you really get out of it on attack? I think on defense, it's really good. You can flash over some rooftops. You can even go towards B, where Sova usually plays, and flash over towards the window to get any recon that you usually can, but you don't have the option to get that deep recon that Sova usually can, right? A dart over towards B lobby, a dart all the way into A main, or even back towards Cat. So it's information long range you're missing out of that, but I mean, you do have the KO knife to back it up, and so I'm excited to see how that plays out on defense.
Yeah, and I mean, on attack though, it also gives some things that we talked about back on the bits. It does give the fact that, first of all, it does give that extra flash and that extra utility to use while actually pushing that side. But it also, we also have Wingman here that helps when it comes to getting that spike down.
Yeah.
So, again, while definitely not a choice I would personally make for this map, and I do believe that it could be much, this comp could be much better, as I've proven many times this map with that Sova. I do believe that there's a very good fighting chance from them.
Yeah.
Looking on the other side though.
Yeah, let's talk about corner. That's crazy. I mean, where do we even start? Okay, so Phoenix, that's interesting. Usually you see that paired with like maybe a Viper on this map, you know, something to help get you deeply inserted into those positions a little bit more, right? Especially in the mid rounds. You know, Phoenix is very close range, especially with his impact on the back of flashes. I do like Phoenix on defense actually on Ascent a lot. You can go for that play towards A main. You can throw that Molly lineup over towards there and get really good A main control, and even Cat tree room. But on attack, with this particular comp they're playing, with only Omen being a supportive controller, I'm wondering where that value is going to come out. That's really where my eyes are.
I'm not so sure, because like Phoenix is an agent that can walk on this map. Here's an agent that heavily relies on actually getting contact. Like, it's not like you have the jet that will just dash into sight and then start getting info on who's where off their team's utility to try and get some frags. Phoenix is actually an agent that needs the contact to actually be able to properly enter. He only has his ward to actually help him take some space, and then his flash to actually help secure those picks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's definitely something that can work, but it might be a bit of a struggle. Looking into the rest of the comp though as well.
Chamber in place of KO.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in this comp it's more like, kind of like Phoenix. Like if you play together and use Phoenix's flashes to help you take some spacey. I feel like this is more towards the double sentinel comps we've seen here with that deadlock Cypher sometimes. That can work. Though, this is an interesting approach to it, because we actually haven't seen Chamber much. It is Falcon Chamber though, someone who is mechanically a very good player and did have a really good last game.
Yep.
So I don't know. I feel like while this comp is definitely not that strong comp-wise with the players on each role, it's definitely something that is viable.
Yeah, and I feel like, especially on defense side, which I know they're not on, I feel like Chamber gets shut down a lot in those off angles by KO. So I'm excited to see how they approach that. But in the meantime, we are on the attack pistol here for the side of corner campers. Now, early engagement taken there. Phoenix is the one that does go down. They opted for that contact play instead of flashing into that. So ultimately going for that choke point space. Not successful. Smoke coming towards mid 3 from the attackers. Response is to get the paranoia going. XD wants to fight into it, but he's alone. But Ski following it up, and he's just falling into his hands. It's done so well. And the mid crunch from TIMEZ looks really good here. Very principled approach. Mizuki left in the clutch, but do have 2 players pretty low on the side of TIMEZ, but it's looking very unlikely just based off of the way they've been playing this together. Any mistakes trying to get forced out here. For the first pick, does go for it actually, and that's one of the full HP opponents, so still 2 left towards that low HP. And definitely a possible engagement to go for here. Goes for the pick, there it is, gets the second. Oh my goodness, 4 on the round for Mizuki. And she's looking for the clutch. If she does it, it would be so damn good. Gets across and is able to go for the spike plant. Oh my goodness, clutch is underway. And right now, NRY, with all of the pressure on him for the side of TIMEZ to get this down, tries to go for the spam shot, doesn't quite get it. Mizuki going for that wrap, and right now she's looking for the ace, and it'd be an ace clutch if that were the case. NRY still creeping around, looking for the space, but he expects the rewrap to come through. Doesn't look for the time, and the ace from Mizuki comes through. And that's the pistol for corner campers.
Man, that's such a comeback. Like, I mean, I don't know, that round looked pretty unwinnable.
Wow.
Against Mizuki coming in this pick in a really important round, because this is also the attack half. This is also half where, on a map like this, especially against a comp that's more standard, you want to get as many rounds in as possible.
A similar look we got from pistol round. NRY just playing with that contact here. Coming into it, that's a nice shot to start things off here. Into this eco round for TIMEZ, and they've always had such good looks in these types of rounds as well. There it is, the Dizzy to even come through to help it out. NRY landing in the share of shots, rather. And right now, they're going for that site control. CJ has TP'd out into this space. And so far, a man advantage gained for TIMEZ, just off the back of that Sheriff from NRY, looking to come back into the retake. Akio getting forced out a little bit there. And Oxy landing through with the Guardian, coming right through the smoke is Mizuki, and there's the answer. And TIMEZ, they did really good damage, but nonetheless, corner campers taking that second round eco.
Yeah, I mean, definitely good damage, but I mean, look at the economy on corner campers' side. They might only be going into this with 2 buys, but the economy is already looking really far ahead. It's on that even if they lose, they still have so much money to get buys for probably 2 rounds.
I just want to say I am pleasantly surprised by these comps. Thought we were going to get the same thing, and this is so different.
Absolutely, it is. As much as it's surprising, it is so nice to see something different, especially on a map like Ascent, where you would never expect it.
So
I
refreshing.
mean, understandably so. Yeah, understandably so that we don't see something different. Though, yeah, definitely really nice to see.
Sana, sana.
And getting completely stopped at the doorstep. Corner campers not able to find their way through this big choke point, but Oxy does recover a kill there. That's a trade off the beginning. Love that turret from Ski here. It's able to find that lane contact, confirms that the hit is still coming this way. Ski, the one gonna have to do the damage backside. Vandal in hand, goes for the first, does get it. Looking for the second. The shots are a bit labored, does grab it down, and the team is there to help it out. About on the chamber, left to do the damage. XD taking him down, and there it is. TIMEZ keeping 4 alive and getting that first rifle round.
And it's the round they needed. I mean, they managed to keep most of their guns, which is really important, and it's one that was a must for this going into this half, or at least the rest of this half. And we did get to see the actual structure we have talked about so many times. The team, I mean, they actually look good going into that. And I'm hoping to actually see the same, because corner campers are definitely also looking good going into this.
Targets destroyed.
So, I mean, TIMEZ are definitely going to need to at least match that to have a chance in this map.
Absolutely.
You should
This is going to be such a competitive third map. And already got that lockdown coming into play for the side of corner campers coming towards this B site. And it's smart from TIMEZ here, opting to play off. Ski trying to get that cheeky pick ahead of the dark cover, not able to get it. But Sativa playing towards this position is really good for the Phoenix. Curveball can come right around into that market position, so I'm looking for Sativa to do damage, but the flash comes through so well timed for the side of TIMEZ. And the retake looks really good here. Playing off the site and going for that flood retake. Paranoia to come through, knife to land down, and VALORANT falling to the hands of Keo. And right now, Oxy was that contingency plan with the Hunter's Fury, no longer going to invest it in this 1v5, and that is it. A flawless response from TIMEZ.
Flawless.
I mean, this is the TIMEZ we've been expecting and we've seen so far. Looking really nice. Something I would like to actually mention, which I really like that I saw from Mizuki coming into this round, was the lockdown placement. Because normally most people would like to place it towards that box be made to make sure it is safe. However, I'm not sure if this was just because Mizuki was aware of it, or they just decided to go for it. But they actually placed it closer in that corner next to the box, knowing that TIMEZ did not have an Odin or any weapon that could be used to actually spam it, and actually got to clear the entirety of sight before they decided to approach that.
That's a good point. I don't even know if they were looking at that detail, but if they were, that's impressive. Just being aware of that.
Watch your eyes.
Ooh. Curveball right around the corner there. Does go down to jet lag. You see already flashbang in hand, looking to get ahead of this one still. Even with that door closed. And the fight towards A main getting taken. Coming right through the dark cover, looking for it, but dropped in to go here towards mid, and that's where XD is at. And this is a position Mizuki showed us some good damage last time, and XD a little too ahead of it. You've got to know they're going to play together with these guns here. Completely goes down to those sheriffs, and now Ski left by his lonesome to defend the B site. Presumably just going to stall, but it gets aggressive as CJ. And he gets 2 off of that? Where in the world does he find those picks from? NRY
Spike planted.
looking to try to trade things off. I mean, CJ has done his job and then some this round. Any other day of the week, you call that an overextension, but I mean, the mechanical prowess out from him makes it so viable. Dizzy coming right on through, coming right into the retake. Gonna have to clear this B main space, and that he does. NRY quick to the punch. CJ not able to respond. And right now, with both playing off of the sites here, at some point you have to respect this positioning. Coming towards the back site, Moshpit to clear things out. Wingman onto Spike, takes down the first one, but Mizuki once again clutching things up for the team. Corner campers third on the round, and she is a demon this game right now.
Absolutely, she's looking so good. I mean, from that position, deciding to go CT to get that gun, but also give such a good off angle. Well, it might be a gamble because they could decide to push that. That is a gamble that is definitely worth in that situation. I mean, just everything in this on, from CJ's push into CT to get those 2 extra kills, which is exactly what they needed. To Mizuki getting that position, like everything was just worked out so perfectly for them there.
And there's the old run it back coming right on through. Ski looking to fend things off again, and there it is. That counter sentinel play coming through, but Oxy so much quicker to the spam. Odin in full play here for XD, looking for the Paranoia Aldrone to come through and stall things out for just a second, and NRY finding that pick towards mid, and he smells blood, looking for another. Not sure if he spotted Valk before, but a dry peek here completely take his head off. Sativa landing that one off. There it is. Pete comes right on through. Finally, and Oxy left in the 1v2. Looking for the jiggle peek onto the operator, but NRY quicker to the punch, head shot to land off the round. And TIMEZ with a quick response there on the corner campers.
Wait until I blind them to strike.
Once again, it's such a good look from both teams going into this. I don't know, we've seen these be so close. Each round comes down to very small details. So I don't know, really
Yes.
curious to see how each team approaches it. We've had some issues, like we see here VALORANT that is having a bit of a slow start on their chamber, unable to get that much value. Though on the other hand, we have Mizuki on the KJ on the attack half, a side where normally an agent like KJ would be just playing, would just be supporting their team, is actually getting so much value.
Here.
Looks like we have a small disconnect here by one of the coaches here. Waiting to get back into the action. Looks like we got readies in the chat from the players. Nice quick tech moment right here. And now, I like that you mentioned those small details as well. I mean, because that discipline, especially this late in the series, we're on a map 3. It's all tied up right now. It's not only just the discipline across the round you need, but that late round discipline, which very often in low-elo we see stray away from teams. Playing together, going into those post plants, playing together for those retakes if you're defenders. And so I'm looking for that discipline to come out more than ever right now.
Absolutely, and I mean, in a map 3, usually you expect those mistakes and they're normal. You expect the players to be tired. You actually see both teams, if anything, make less mistakes than what we've seen in the previous maps.
A full contact play here towards Cat Aldrone. Gonna take Keo out of the equation for just a second here, and she's completely slipped past the side of the Aldrone. Dark cover comes through at the right time though, but NRY posted up towards main. Not even get punished out, but Valk is ready to the punch. Almost takes him down with the headhunter, but with the repeat comes right on through. He's got to be careful around this position. He's got the operator in hand. Only 2 left standing for corner campers. Flank is coming through from Keo, and she'll be able to spot these rotations before they come through. We're going to get collected at the very least here. And there it is. Valk taken down. Mizuki left in the clutch. Now she's done it before, but 42 HP, looking very unlikely here against the guns. And a flawless from TIMEZ.
Yeah, it's such a good round, and it all comes down to details. And it just looks like while this is a map that doesn't seem to have been a preference for either team, they have practiced it quite a bit. Like, there's some details, like for example with Keo over there. I don't know if that's something you actually noticed, but the moment she got stuck into garden, she went towards heaven where the window is and tried to jump over to get even that tiny glimpse of if anyone was pushing through that smoke. Didn't manage to get any info, but there's just tiny details like this that can make such a big difference going into a situation like that.
Yeah. And this time, a very quiet approach from both teams. And RY posted up on this pixel corner B main, looking for where the default is coming through. And I love this look from corner campers because they actually have the triple stack towards A. This is where the drone is going to come through, trying to sell the fake here. They place down the chamber utility. Drone comes through. And Sativa looking to make the point of contact, but the contact over towards B at the same time completely gives it away. And they're out onto this site right now. And pretty soon they're going to realize no plant is coming through. But wait. All right, they opt to stick this one here. From the shadows comes through towards the A site. And it was the plan all along. Nonetheless, CJ. Yeah. He got taken out of the equation there. Look at where Mizuki is too.
Here.
It's the
He
wingman.
doesn't even have the time though.
Yeah. Hunter's Fury does stall it out though. Wait a minute. Everybody's just dropping. What a post plant by corner campers there.
Absolutely, that's just such an unexpected turn for that. I mean, that immediate answer to that commitment with that lockdown coming in, and then that pick onto CJ, the wingman onto Spike. Normally, you just expect the round to be pretty much over. I mean, Mizusaki had such a good flank, but did not have time to make it. And Hunter's Fury actually provided exactly as much time as they needed.
Turret out.
Another bit of a tech pause here as we sort out the coach situation. Seems like there's a lot of glitches with that coach slot these days.
Absolutely. I mean, this could have been so much, and I don't know. Something needs to be done about that.
And I speak from experience. I'd love to be able to see the scoreboard after the games are over from the coach slot. It's always just that full flashbang screen.
Scoreboards, agent selects. There's just
Oh yeah, agent select as well is empty.
our favorite flashbangs, as we like to call them.
Yep. Oh my goodness. No, coach, we are right out there on the struggle bus with you, but nonetheless, this is close, Nick. I mean, not only is the series tied up, but it's 4-4 right now. And just looking at the way these rounds are going as well, I mean, it's not dominant on either side. I mean, I know that times have strung 2 rounds together. I mean, but so did corner campers at the beginning of the game. And they have a response every 2 rounds thus far, so I don't know, are they going to break that curse and maybe get a second round here for corner campers, or are we going to get another 2 from times? And that's really where the narrative of this map starts to paint itself, is how many more mistakes can you force out? Because like you said, it's a very even map in terms of how you play it. Now, obviously, not even comps. Very different looks at the map from both of these teams here, but nonetheless, very principled style, no matter what.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've seen that so far. We've seen them actually play this map, at least obviously on Time's side, because on corner camp side we see something that is definitely different on this map, especially for a comp like that. I wouldn't really say there's a right way to approach this. However, with the standard comp, there's obviously certain things that you're expecting. There's some things that just cannot be replaced. And so far, we have actually seen those things coming in from Times. Good responses coming from corner campers nonetheless. For a comp that most people would expect it to not be as good. Maybe it comes down to mechanics, but overall the scoreboards actually look pretty close as well. So it just seems like it just comes down to how they decide to approach this.
Yeah.
Definitely really interesting, and I don't know, I'm really, really curious to see how these guys decide to proceed going into this map. Because I mean, at this point, every round matters. Like, you cannot let a team to get any momentum, especially after like this point, because we're already like decently into the game. So getting a few runs in a row and gaining momentum here is pretty much exactly what either team needs here to actually get close, if not secure this win.
Yeah. Everything on the line here for both these teams. Another B approach here into the round, but XD ready with the spam. And that already puts the Diva down to 5. It doesn't matter though, run it back comes through. Gonna go back to full HP, but the Nano Swarm at the choke point is popped late, so gonna have to invest the hot hands into that one as well for an additional heal. Shock Bolt, try to fend things off, but Ski right through the smoke. Lands that off. And XD, the only one here on site to fend things off. Dark cover mid-site to help things manage here, but dark cover, paranoia rather, going on to the Phoenix does not help him on CJ. An awkward fight, only 2 left standing for corner campers though. Times They're on their front foot so far, keeping the narrative alive for this game here. Getting 2 rounds for every 1 round that Corner Campers gets. They're covering the operator, getting onto the peak. CJ, very daring angle to take there after seeing that operator come into his hands, but right now they're just cornered on the site. Spike is down and in the hands of TIMEZ. Yep.
30 seconds left.
Not much to do in that situation other than hope to get a few picks, which doesn't look like they're able to here. I mean, losing Spike into lane after the team flood side is just a worst case scenario for pushing this side. Especially considering that there were already players towards market, making it pretty much impossible to retrieve that without at least going through them first.
Yeah.
Keep up.
You want to play? Let's play.
Looking to keep the trend alive. And RY
Blocking sight.
running towards things, but he's going to opt to play into the side, actually. A fake cloud burst over towards heaven to fake the updraft, but all of the shots completely whiffed by NRY. Just goes down, but the support from the team is honestly doing a lot of damage there. Really nice with the tour de force from Val. Plant does come down on site. CJ completely left uncontested, but that's the operator recovered. Very dangerous weapon to give up in these positions, and there it is towards Hell. Finds the value off the first shot there. Tour de force, and it's just operators from every angle, but they're not really set up to defend this one. Wait, Ski going for the defuse here. Gonna stick on to it, and it's gonna come through. Not Val able to land the shot there, and you saw them running for desperation. And the Thrifty comes through from Corner Campers.
And again, that was so close, like, it just came down to a few milliseconds. Definitely a good look, but like you said, these rounds are so close. Like, they're coming down to, like, tiny little details.
First.
So, it's really hard to tell who actually has the upper hand here. Because while you might say that, oh, Ascent's a defense-sided map, and we have the 2 Sentinels coming in from Corner Campers, they're a team that is really good at playing aggressive. So the attack half, I would want to say that on a map like this, it's definitely a half where they have a lot of potential and a lot of room to actually show how good of a team they are and win some rounds.
Sure. I totally agree with that. I think this round, it's not the essence of what we're used to seeing from them, though. And NRY completely caught with his back turn. Oxy looking to make work of this mid-space. Ski forced off the angle, almost spammed right on through as well. Gonna have to get forced off here. Jet lag following up towards Cat right now. Very sporadic approach here by Corner Campers, but I mean, it's working. They're pretty good at these dry gunfights. Now Ski
Spike planted.
looking for Oxy to come through the smoke.
Last player
Confirms his
standing.
presence, but Oxy actually wins that fight. It's insane. XD left with the Odin, aware that both are towards tree here. Able to take down the Owl drone there. Ooh, undecisive on where the Shrouded Steps gotta go. And that's those errors you don't want in those clutch situations. Corner Campers able to take it away.
Last round before the switch.
Here we have the last round, and around that would be really nice times to have for them. I mean, again, this is not a map where you want to give your any momentum, and I mean, maybe that 3rd round in a row, especially considering that we get that switch into defense side, could definitely be really important and game-changing.
You should run.
Shadows traveling.
And there it is. Daring to position the ultimate that way. Given what you know about the current play style of TIMEZ, but there it is, completely locking down that B site. No gaps left as well, so they don't have to worry about Boathouse. But once again, very smart from TIMEZ to play off here. And Sativa even tries to go for that market space, and the Thrash completely catches him out. Paranoia missing onto Keo. And she's able to come right out of the dark cover and do the damage here. Valk left towards main, gets the information, goes back on the rendezvous. But the attention is now towards site, and Mizuzuki doesn't do enough damage to fend it off. CJ looking to be the next layer here. Can't hit the shots, and Keo, she's on for the ace. Can she make it happen? Goes down to the rifle of Valk. Comes right through the cloud burst, and that's the wingman to get the defuse. And an even 6-6 half. What a close match.
Absolutely, they're
Switching
just
sides.
going neck to neck right now, not giving each other any room to get ahead of each other. I mean, the most consecutive rounds I've seen once so far are 2. That have come from both sides as well. Also, an equal amount of times, actually, which is even more impressive to see.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, definitely a really good map to watch and such a close game. Though this is a half where corner campers can get the advantage. I mean, we talked about how they're definitely really good at playing aggressively, and that is the playstyle they have shown for the most part. However, they are still running a double sentinel comp.
Yep. And that's got to mean good things for them being on defense as well as they're ending half. But NRY completely deleting Mizuzuki there. Goodness. Oxy, though. Back sight here, looking for the shots, can't land it. Support comes through really quickly from jet lag. Sativa forcing through the smoke, and it's completely dismantled. Barely anything left in the tank, landing one with a headhunter. Valk for his troubles, but Keo, she finishes things off there, and that's the pistol round for TIMEZ.
I don't even know, again, it's such a good look going into this. I mean, NRY has been playing so impressively. We even talked about how, looking into the duelists of both teams, it definitely looked like he was lacking on that, on those stats. While he was playing really well and he was doing good, he was definitely seemingly lacking a bit. Though, he's just proved us wrong here.
This time a much more passive approach by TIMEZ, playing all the way back. Aware that corner campers like to go for those aggressive plays and even stack sites as well. But look at the information they're getting over here towards B. And the fight starts to come through. They still want to group up on this as well. Jet lag. Sativa going down to the fragment. Nanoswarm to follow things off. 0 point from Market so far, handling this very well. And TIMEZ are always so good in these positions as well. They know how to play against their enemy's arsenal. Plant comes through, only low HP left. I mean, barely any damage has been done too. This is not how you want to go down in this eco round. Especially with the scoreline being this close and this being the series decider. Flawless second round eco from TIMEZ.
This place is nice, but not nice enough to die in. Let's win and get out of here.
I'm honestly so impressed by how these two are things up. I mean, normally I would not expect TIMEZ to manage to be so dominant here. I know we have said that they've been looking really good on that attack side, and so have corner campers, so they might be struggling a bit on this defense side. They're just looking so good, and again, NRY going in and grabbing such important kills for this round. I mean, your NRY is just doing exactly what you'd need from your duelist here, and his team is providing that support.
Yep. And you really don't want TIMEZ to be running away with an eco round here. If you are corner campers, but they have a really good setup for it. Valk playing over towards main and handling the choke around the dark cover does very well. Even trades coming through though. However, rendezvous over towards this B site. Mizuzuki trying to do the damage. A lot of pressure being applied, but Oxy is going to be the one with the Odin playing towards this backside space. Can he manage the pressure?
Here.
XD, aware of the drop towards mid. Shots were a little bit late, but does land it down. The double peeks come through towards mid. They've handled it kind of well so far, but Oxy fending off the site with the Odin. And the damage looks really good. From TIMEZ. Vandal recovered by XD. Now, if he gets this clutch, I mean, this will be very disheartening by corner campers, but playing together here. Really good setup.
30 seconds left.
Teleport's ready.
Listening for those drops. You can tell how much he wants this clutch here.
Shadows traveling.
Dark cover comes through. Not confirming the presence quite yet. Looking for it, but Oxy spots his foot right around the corner. Spams with the Odin, and that's it. Corner campers get their response.
A good round coming in from TIMEZ nonetheless. I mean, this was a bonus round, and we have corner campers also going here with a rather low buy. However, that was again a good look here. They still managed to keep 2 guns. They have 3 rifles, a bulldog, and a nose going into this round, which is, they've definitely showed us that fires like this are still good enough. There was a bit of a mix coming in from TIMEZ going here between that passiveness and actually playing really aggressively and taking space, which is exactly what it seems like they're deciding to do this round.
Yeah, and they've gotten 2 entries off of that too. And they're aware Ski likes this very late backstab. Still goes down to the Odin of Oxy, but only 2 left for this retake from corner campers, and TIMEZ, just from this round alone, looking to keep their lead in place. Scans come through. Chance for the wall bangs, but doesn't grab them. Still looking to come into this. Dark cover comes. He hears the jump up, but jet lag quicker to the punch. And even with the spam through the dark cover, 9-7 for TIMEZ right now. They're starting to slip away with this one.
I can hold an area pretty well myself. Make sure to cover the angles I can't.
Yeah, that is definitely even worse of a point to actually let either team get a few rounds in like this.
Time out.
I mean, they can't. They absolutely can't. Like, this is a rather low buy coming in from corner campers, and it's a round where it's looking hard for them, but it's a round that they need to get as much damage as they can. Looks like we actually have another technical issue coming in. Definitely been quite a few.
There's a tech issue, then it got canceled, and then looks like corner campers need a second here. Get situated. Looks like maybe one of CJ or Oxy got disconnected here.
Most likely, yeah. Oh boy.
Ooh, and what's already curious about this round, actually, before we get out of this tech pause is, I mean, it's a double sentinel setup over towards A. Now, granted, when it's chamber, that doesn't mean a ton, other than like off angles that you have to worry about, and then maybe trademark placement, but you've got that killjoy utility in chamber that can just completely play off of it. And so they're looking to have a good look at this A site, and that's also where the hit's coming through.
So it looks like that we do have the KJ going towards tiles, but I mean, that's just what you'd expect coming in from a play like this.
And here we are, Valk forced off that site, like we talked about, that KO. Completely taking value out of the off angles the chamber's able to get. And RY looking to get the information over here towards Hell. Does grab it. Wingman getting that spike down. And now they can play comfortably here. TIMEZ looking to further clinch the lead. Keo almost forced out by the curveball there, but continues the spray. And a job well done so far. The eco gun's not landing for corner campers, and even the backstab from Ski doing them good. 27 HP. Spectre in hand for Mizuzuki. Couple dinks on XD, but takes down the armor. Still goes down, and a team ace for TIMEZ to secure the 10th win of this game.
Oh no, TIMEZ is definitely getting a little ahead here. They definitely need to be stopped from the side of corner campers if they want a chance into the rest of this tournament, even actually in this case.
Yeah, and look at the econ too. Ugh.
That's what I was actually about to say, and what we also mentioned last round. I mean, this is a round that corner campers have to win. Otherwise, they essentially just give TIMEZ the 12th round here.
Yep. And it's a fast one at that, Nick. Already sight control. Going for it. Oxy takes down the ultimate from Jetlag there. Looking to get the res, and he does. Flashbang was a little bit late to the party. Goes down. And right now, as you said, this is a round that corner campers need. And you see how desperately they want it. Going for it here. Rifle's going to get recovered coming into this. And for trades. The retake comes through. Dizzy regathered there. Going for a fight towards lane. Does take him down. And there's 3 on the round for Kyo. And she has done her job and then some. Even from the shadows to regroup over towards mid. Mizuzuki, though, she's dangerous. Looking for vengeance coming into this one. Wants to go for the clutch. If she makes it happen, it'd be huge. Needs it for the team. There it is. Shots onto NRY. Landing. Gonna have to go for the defuse. And XD has the advantage here. Going on to the angle. Tries to hit the shot. And the bullets are gone. XD taking down Mizuzuki and securing the 11th win here. Closer to victory. Closer to playoffs for TIMEZ. An unlikely outcome for all of us in the community. Wow.
Really. And I mean, we have a very much needed timeout coming in here from corner campers. I mean, this round that again is a really hard to win. However, we do have so many ultimate abilities. I mean, we have that running back, we have that tour de force, we have so much coming in, and it's definitely a round that, while it might be hard, it's they have a chance.
Yep.
And it's a chance they definitely need to take here.
Yeah. And that's the nice thing about the chamber pick as well. It's a good economic pick. You have access to that tour de force on tough rounds like this.
Absolutely. Because I mean, I don't know, like, while it's definitely still winnable, even if corner campers just manage to get some damage in, some good damage in this round, giving that 12th round to TIMEZ will be so hard, because then it all just comes down to making a single mistake, and that costs you the entire map.
Yep.
To the round that has to be won, and I mean, we saw that timeout coming in. We've seen some timeout to make a big difference, even in rounds where you normally not expect it as much. So I don't know what we're gonna see here, but we need to see something.
Yeah. And on the contrary, for TIMEZ, we've got that Thrash, we've got that Blade Storm, so still some abilities to help into this. And there it is, Thrash invested as soon as I say that, and 2 of them caught out from it as well. Phoenix going to have to help him, and that's not enough. Completely takes him down, but Oxy
Down A. Last player
having a response. And just like that, everyone gets traded, Nick.
I mean, that is exactly what you said as well about that KO going against Chamber. Yes, it is a really good economic pick. However, KO just completely shuts down what the play corner campers had in mind there. And I mean, look at Sativa's position, they're just completely pinched.
Oh. And I mean, corner campers, I say this like they used money to do it, but they invested into switching into CJ for this roster to get ahead of the curve before the playoffs and to be prepared for these last group stage matchups that they have. But this is the moment right here when you are 12-7 down the numbers and tied up in the series where you start to wonder, was that the change that we needed, and was it at the right time? Because I really thought it was, but right now this is proving me wrong.
Scanning ahead.
I'm not with you, and I don't know. I feel like it was a needed change, probably at the wrong time here. So yes, we're still going to see the physical for this. There's always a chance.
And this is the round right here. Everything on the line. Corner campers going to have to win it out on defense. And already, you see them stacked over towards A, but the spike and the attention is towards B. And as I say that, they completely rotate out. I mean, time and time again, no pun intended, just have the read on where the stack is at. Granted, that fight over towards Cat does cause some mid-round rotations. It looks like they're a little bit hesitant to the punch to get into the B space and maintain that control, but the comms are coming out from CJ here, playing towards Cat. He hears them main, and the lockdown even further confirms things. And they're going to make a go of coming out onto the site. Here it is. Wingman to go down for the plant. Going into the off angle, Mizuzuki able to take one down. Goes down in the process, though. Oxy with the Hunter's Fury, not able to find any value. Run it back. Comes through. And the numbers continue to dwindle. This right here is for a chance to stay in the tournament. And right now, it's all down to Oxy for corner campers. Can they stay in it? He's looking for it. He can't. And TIMEZ have done the unexpected, taking corner campers out of the tournament. They have found their success, resilience through all of these series in the group stage, knocking corner campers out, a team that were favorites to make it deep, and TIMEZ have won over them and made it to the playoffs. What a wonderful Cinderella story.
What an unexpected and very ironic, actually, looking at the scoreboard for this map. I mean, that was just such a good look from them for both teams. But such an unexpected one from TIMEZ. I mean, while I definitely thought that this game would be close, I don't know, I definitely thought that this change might have been a bit late, would give them the edge they need to actually get this series.
And oh my goodness, I know that corner campers are so heartbroken. They've worked so hard for this, but on the side of TIMEZ, I am a newfound TIMEZ fan. Absolutely beautiful gameplay from front to back. They showed us in their first series that they were so shaky against this very roster, Nick. They weren't able to play that first map, but second map on Lotus, corner campers completely sweep the floor with them 13-5. And then they come into this series here. I mean, TIMEZ got a 13-3 victory over corner campers in this series, and then ending off at a 13-7, two very convincing scorelines. So it's not like it was close, and TIMEZ just found that competitive edge over them like they did in their last matchup. This was the story of, like, TIMEZ dominated corner campers in this series, and man, what a story. And look at NRY. What a story from this player right here. I remember in the first series we talked about how he was having a hard time finding value on that duelist role and the stats were looking kind of low. But look at this right here. MVP of the match. 8 first bloods. 305 ACS. 22-11. I mean, what more can you ask for? Absolutely great performance.
Absolutely, and that's all you need from your duelist. And if anything, even more than that.
Man.
Oh, what an interesting series entirely. I mean, I don't even know what to say here.
Yeah. The entire community was expecting corner campers to come out of this victorious, but I have to give it to TIMEZ here. Now, this makes me even more excited about the playoffs. We have Minji and TIMEZ. It's official. Group A. Minji and TIMEZ are the teams making it out of Group A. Everyone's pick'ems in the trash now. And so Group B, later on, or actually right after this, really, because this went to map 3, so they're going to be here in just a second. We've got Salvation versus Extra Life for this next series, Nick. And so I'm just wondering here, now obviously I feel like in that series, maybe we expect Salvation to come out on top because Salvation played Extra Life in their opening matchup on October 18th. They 2-0'd them. here we are in the decider match. I think Salvation can take it home again, but just based off of what's going on today, I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde, is there a full moon, but man, the outcomes are crazy. Do you think we might get an upset in that matchup too? Extra Life over Salvation?
I definitely believe that it's possible, though I am not so sure about that. Like, I believe both teams have a high chance in that map. Obviously, if they have actually played in, they need a time and overall practice to actually manage that. Though I definitely believe that it's definitely not a serious to take for granted.
Yeah. My goodness. And now, as we...
I'm honestly speechless.
Me too. I mean, honestly, as we settle into the reality of the scoreline, I want to talk a little bit about how the comps played out. So we had a lot to say about these comps and how different they were during Agent Select. We completely ate our words. Thought we were going to see meta, we didn't. And so on the side of TIMEZ, we got the Gecko instead of the Sova. Now, I had my gripes about that. Obviously, I honestly think that Sova is just a must pick on this map. There's a reason he's a 100% pick rate here. And so, I mean, looking at how Keo played it, right? Keo has shown us time and time again. I think you said it right as soon as we got into the matchup as well. You said, okay, but it's Keo, right? Keo's the one on Gecko, so of course we're going to get value out of her because she has shown so much strength on that Agent time and time again. And I was scratching my head a little bit coming out of Agent Select, and I'm like, how is this going to work on attack? When you want to go for more long-range fights and you want that more long-range reconnaissance and support, well, I mean, honestly, they were just using the KO knife to make that happen, move up to those closer angles, and then just get the dizzies out for the fight. And you're right, that double flashbang setup as well from the comp just makes it a lot easier to deal with. And so I start to think about synergies like also the Sky Gecko and Bind, right? You have that super flash coming out, and it's kind of the same thing with the KO Gecko here. So they were going for, need I say, flashier fights with this comp, and it really did work out for them. And I was really glad to see that innovation because we don't get to see a lot of different comps on this map, Nick, and we definitely got it from TIMEZ, and they did it well.
Absolutely, and I mean, to answer what I said, like, normally you'd ask, are you going to take those longer range fights? And I mean, I feel like for us, this was that we're not going to take this fight in general. I mean, we did not see much of them other than that AWP coming in from NRY, which still was not as many long range fights as you'd expect, it was smaller than AWP. They decided to let's actually play close up and not give them space, which also was exactly the way to play against a comp like what corner campers decided to use. Play close up, because with the KO there, you're not really given space to get as much value. Phoenix is also someone who needs contact and needs to actually have some space, like what we saw a lot was those flashes coming in from Phoenix, not unable to get value, just kept getting spammed.
Yep.
And that is exactly the problem I had when it came to team playing so close to rotation and not letting them really do what they wanted. And that is exactly also the way to play the comp coming into lines.
Wow. And just when you thought the roster moves were going to come in and save the day, they did not. Now, Nick, I believe we have a post-match interview here ready for XD. So as we get XD ready to come into the post-match interview, we're going to go ahead and pull up the stats here and get ready for this one. I'm really excited to get some insight from XD here, honestly, just to hear what the comms were like, just get some insight as to like what this comeback really felt like. Because TIMEZ, Nick, they've got some really entertaining narratives to share with us right now, I feel like.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for the post-match interview here, we have XD on standby, ready for this here. And as we pull up the match statistics, obviously NRY coming out on top as our match MVP, but XD, our controller player on the side of TIMEZ, very impactful game there, 15, 9, and 17. And we're going to bring them right up here onto the stage for a post-match interview. There we go. Now first, hello. I want to say hi, XD. How are you doing after that series there?
Pretty fun. It was a pretty interesting game, you know. Like to see them go 2-1.
Absolutely. And You guys definitely proved a lot of doubters wrong today. I just want to say, I'm sure you also know this, that corner campers were the favorites to make it very deep in this tournament, and you guys dismantled them in the group stage. And so, talk to me a little bit about how that post-game feels for the team.
I think we're pretty hyped. One of us in particular is very excited about this win, but like, I don't know. I mean, it's always nice to be the underdogs. You know, get that punch up in the teams above us. Honestly though, I think we've just kind of suffered from IRL stuff kind of earlier towards like the group stage where we weren't able to dedicate as much time to like prep time and things like that. But you know, now we're in like full swing, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Full swing indeed. I mean, y'all came swinging today. It was really good. That 13-3 on Abyss was so good. So I want to talk about this series starting from the beginning, and it started with Abyss. That 13-3, obviously something none of us were really expecting, but you guys looked so good. The team play was tight. One of the biggest critiques that we had from you guys' first series is that it looked like the team play was a little bit disconnected, but this series y'all figured that out, and you showed it immediately on the first map on Abyss. So talk to me a little bit about the prep and what went into fixing those things.
Yeah, so on Abyss is one of our most like scrim maps. When the map dropped, we were like, I think we try to get comfortable on this new map before everybody else does, and I think we've kind of worked out a few like tricks in the map. You know, very comfortable on it, most of us, and like we have, you know, our strats and all that. So it's just I think it's one of our better maps for now.
Yeah,
and so
I think we could all agree.
When they let us, surprised when they let us pick it, because I think we've been trying to get it in all of our series so far. So I didn't really think they would allow us, but we showed off why it's a good map for us. Kind of, I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, you also managed to do that twice, actually, going into after last series as well, which you also managed to came back from a game that was looking really hard with that decider against Visualize.
Yeah. I think
there's something I want. Oh, go on.
No, I was just about to say, like on that series against Visualize, I think I was literally looking at it, and during the rounds we were like getting smashed on Sunset. I was like, man, we're trolling this game. And then we kind of, I don't know what happened. We locked in, we shut together towards the end there, and it was like, I was watching, I was subbed out for that game, I couldn't attend it. So I was watching my phone, and I was like, damn, you fucking cooking. Oh, I can't, can I swear? Can I swear?
You're good, man, don't worry about it.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's what's needed in a situation like that, just recollecting yourselves and going back into the game. And I mean, essentially that's what also happened here, because while you did quite dominantly manage to win the first map, losing that map with a decently low score, I mean 13-6 must have definitely been a little discouraging. So managing to recollect themselves to do such a good map 3. Speaking of that map though, I actually wanted to ask you something, if you have any input on this, which is the comp. Because it was a rather standard one for the most part, with the exception of that Gecko. And Robbie specifically asked me in the beginning, what do you think about the Gecko? Because like personally he said he does believe that it is the best choice, and when answering the question I said that I agree. Gecko is not an agent I would pick on this map to follow this comp, though it was Keo playing that. And it's an agent that they've shown that they're really confident in. And it's like, I guess like a comfort agent. Is that what you guys were actually thinking going into that, or is that a comp that you actually wanted to run?
I'm sorry, just to clarify, are you talking about third map or second map?
We're talking about Ascent, how you decided to switch out that Sova in the standard comp for Gecko. Well,
I think he just kind of fits our team identity a bit, it's a bit simpler to work, because Keo, our flex player, actually didn't play Gecko kind of too much before we got into it, but then we were like in streams and we were running it, and we were like, yeah, this is just comfortable for all of us, right? Like this kind of style that we're running with the Gecko, and it's just like, I think we just decided to take it and run with it, and I mean, I think the results speak for themselves.
Wow. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exceptional.
I mean, something that really showed like you guys did well was playing aggressively and taking up that space, and even post plant playing more aggressively towards that sign instead of what normally you'd expect, and just get in position for post plant. And Gekka is definitely an agent that can support that really well, considering that you do not have to actually sacrifice a play for a few seconds to get that plant down.
Yeah. I mean, I would have never guessed that Kyo didn't play a lot of Gecko before coming into the team, and that makes it so much more impressive too, the way she just gets so much value out of the agent. And it also speaks to you guys' style. You have a very good system around the Gecko, and it's also really good to hear that you have, you know, decisive actions around it, right? Not just comfort picks, but you want to put it into the system so that it works well. There's a lot of times where teams want to put someone on a comfort pick, and it might not work best for the system or even the overall comp that they're playing. So it's nice to hear that y'all have structure behind it. And so I have my last few questions here. One of the biggest word that I love to say when it comes to TIMEZ, because I'm a new TIMEZ fan, by the way, after what I just saw. When it comes to you guys, I think about resilience, right? The fact that you guys are able to look to make disadvantageous situations look so good and just turn them around somehow. And so I start to think back at the timeouts, right? And when your coach calls those timeouts and you start to kind of decompress, get that external help. Talk to me a little bit about what those timeouts sound like and how you guys are able to recollect yourselves.
I think a lot of them are just making sure, you know, we're calming down, you know, the map is kind of nearing its close, or maybe we're reaching a certain point in the map that's important. I think it's just we need to breathe a little bit, you know, take that kind of time to calm the nerves. Don't overcomplicate them, right? Just make them simple, you know, do something that we all like we're chill with, you know. Yep. And I think that's just like the most important part, is making sure we got the bearings there. Unfortunately, in Sunset, we're not able to stop their momentum. There's like, I have to say, there are a few mistakes we did make towards like the early game that let them, like, we weren't able to snowball our attack half like we were hoping. But yeah, I think that's kind of what's most important about our coach's timeout.
Yeah, I absolutely love that insight, because I mean, we talk about that here in the caster's booth all the time. That is just as important as the strategy is, right? Some rounds you might feel down, but it's not always about that strategy. Sometimes it's really that mental fortitude that starts to play around with the way the team plays, right? And you might have a little bit, you know, messier timings if you're feeling the nerves coming through, right? Maybe hands shaking with the mouse, a little bit sweaty, got to wipe your palms off on your pants, right? So there's a lot of different ways at which you can calm your teams down, and it's really good to hear that you guys have a good support system like that in your coaching staff, because honestly, I see that helping you guys a lot in the server, and it's really a treat to see. And so, as we finish things off here, XD, do you have any words of wisdom or advice for aspiring controller players out there?
I think, honestly, for controller players, I think you just need to not be scared to take that fight, because a lot of them, like Astra, like kind of Omen, you know, these players, maybe not close, but like this piece of utility only have value when like you're alive, right? And like you want to be stay alive, but you still need those, like, you need to be not shy away from those like impact tries or pushing your team or something along those lines. Like, I think learning to like balance putting yourself in that like risk-taking position, taking that like fight, or just, you know, knowing when to, that distinction of when to stay safe and when to play for util is the most important part of the controller player, and it's kind of hard to balance those two. I would say personally, I actually do a bit struggle with playing a bit too passive, because as I'm trying to like IGL, need the team around the map, I kind of, you know, lose focus on the screen that's actually in front of me. But you know, I think that's what is probably best for controller players.
Yeah.
Luckily, we ball sometimes, you know.
Yep. That is really good advice. Well, XD rather, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you here, man, and congratulations on the win tonight.